Hello, and welcome back to Xpwaste, where around here we spell it F-O-U-R-H, as in 4th of July. You see, here in the United States, we never include the T because we threw it in the ocean, baby. Happy Independence Day to all my fellow Americans out there. I'm Oxie.
And I'm Michael. If this is your first time tuning into Xpwaste, we are in fact a RuneScape podcast. We'll talk about old school RuneScape, potentially our weird like step cousin RS3. But we'll get on tangents. We'll talk about the news. We'll get on more tangents. Then we'll talk about what we've been doing in the game. And today we're doing a tier list. Spoilers. You've already read the title, so you know that. So if you're not new around here, we have been recording, but not recording for like the last hour.
God,
it's been bad. It's been a fun time.
It's been so bad. This is
we're here.
This has been, I will say, props to the patrons for giving us way more information than we needed for this episode. But holy shit, this episode is going to be a hefty one. It's 11:48 in the morning. Michael and I agreed to record at like 10:30. We were in the booth at 10:30. And between all of the shit that's gone on, we are finally ready to start.
Finally. We're here. It is Independence Day, isn't it? I just checked the calendar. We're recording obviously early, but the day this comes out is the homophobic guy.
That's how you know it's July. Because fucking Hannity over here tore my pride flag. I swear to God, this cat has made her life's work in the last week to just make me want to jump off a bridge. I'm sorry, guys. I am in shambles. I have tried to get this recording started for so long, and finally, because people kept saying like, "Oh, what about this? What about this? What about this?" And Michael's like, "Oh yeah, those are all great ideas." I'm like, "We need to start the episode." Then we just never did. And then finally, I said, "Holy shit, I'm finally ready to record." I hit record, and then my driver wasn't working. So I'm just going to shift right into my week. I'm not even going to let Michael ask me. On Sunday night, when we recorded last week for last week's episode, I updated a driver from my Asus Q installer because I'd never seen it before. So I went to update it. And then my computer got stuck in a fucking reboot loop for 3 days. So I took it to the computer repair shop. And after 4 or 5 hours of working on it, they said, "Dude, we've tried everything. We tried hardware. We tried like replacing parts, whatever it is. It's your operating system refuses to load. So we have to put a new one in there." I said, "Okay, cool." And I readied myself a shot of bleach. They were able to back up everything from my main hard drive. And then my other hard drive, my 4 terabyte one that I keep all my games on, is still there and still intact, which means all of my single player data for Stardew Valley, Baldur's Gate 3, Monster Hunter, it's all still there, which is fantastic. Balloons got wiped, which I was pretty sad about, but that's just an excuse to play more balloons. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's been fine, but the problem is I have to reinstall everything I own, including OBS, which meant I don't have any scenes on OBS. I had to redo all of them. So if my mic sounds different, it's because my filters are different because I had to reinstall all the VST plugins and shit to get it all going. And I don't know why the driver isn't working for recording with the regular way that I do my recording output. So I'm just crossing my fingers right now that the output setting that I have is going to work in an MP4 format and isn't going to pop me out at like 240p. So if Michael's super clear and I am like 2003 flip phone camera quality, I apologize. You're just going to have to deal with it. This episode, unfortunately, is a YouTube episode. Son of a bitch. Okay, well, normally we would say listen to us on Spotify, but this one, we got a heater for you guys, but it's a YouTube one for sure.
Or Spotify video.
But still, my quality is going to be garbage. Possibly. I'm not sure. Otherwise, though, I got 96 wood cutting. I got 91 construction. I've AFK'd a little bit of souls. I just don't care. Like, the RuneFest date change has hit me so hard that, like, I don't know. Like, I guess on the one hand, I'm getting to do what I finally wanted to do, right? Like, I'm finally able to like chop redwoods and play Stardew, or like chop redwoods and do something on the Iron Man, which has just been Winter Todd misery. Um, but like, I'm at the point now where I can finally like enjoy other games while doing redwoods. But at the same time, I don't like. I just want to do other things. Like I want to do other things in this game. I recently watched the Jimmy Asmongold discourse about nostalgia and old school RuneScape. I'm watching that video for some reason. Is like, yeah, damn, I kind of want to go do some PVM content now. Like I want to go. I don't know. I want to do more stuff. I want to like move my account along in other places beyond just 2277. And it's just it's gonna happen still, but like holy shit, dude, it's been tough. That's probably what the biggest struggle for me has just been like caring. I've been doing Slayer as like a thing to get points for Araxor.
That's true.
And then I entered into a tile race this weekend with some of my other friends, and it's going miserably. We're like 800 KS Elemental deep without a KS Elemental pet for the tile that we're on to progress to the next tile. So we are in shambles. That said, in 188 KC, I've made 8 mil at KS Elemental. So KS Elemental is actually kind of fire for money these days. But yeah, I mean, I don't know, dude. That's kind of where I'm sitting with it. I do still plan to max. I just don't know when. Tiki and I were talking about it last night. And he's like, I don't know how you like coped with setting yourself a timer. I'm like, the pressure felt good in a way, and it makes for really good content as a content creator, Not like as the only reason why I want to like, what's it called? It's not the only reason why I want to max. Like, oh, I got to max for the content. I don't care that much about it, But as far as like giving myself a goal, like
Goals?
I don't want to trade crafting. Like, I just don't want to do it.
Yeah.
And now that I'm not like pressed for time, womp womp. I just don't care.
Goals can
I'll
be good.
get there eventually, but like
It's a slow road now, which is the way it should be. I mean, if you you only get the option to do this at RuneFest once. So that was kind of like the cool thing to do is take advantage of that opportunity. But now that that opportunity is not there, you're back to just doing it how you should do it, which is slow and steady and don't burn yourself out. So if RuneFest was still happening, this conversation wouldn't be happening. And you would be like, yeah, I got like 500k woodcutting XP today, and I'm going to have woodcutting by the weekend. I
would be absolutely busting my balls. And I think like it helped for mining and agility significantly because like, wow, you want to talk about two skills I wouldn't have wanted to train. Hindsight's 2020 though. I wish I would have done more effort for mining and gotten mining done notably sooner than I did, because then I probably would be further along in rune crafting. But like, I mean, otherwise, I don't know. I'm out here killing KS Elemental with my team right now is what I'm going to be looking over at for a while, because we still need the goddamn pet. So I feel like that's all I've done. I feel like that's literally all I've done this week.
Yeah, because your computer was MIA.
Yeah, dude, my computer was gone for days, and I played a little bit on my laptop. I sent an 8-man TOA with the boys. Like that's, I don't know. That's just like where I've been the last couple of weeks, or last couple of days, man. I don't even know. Time is a blur. Today's Saturday. I'm going to Pride today because I have a busy weekend ahead of me. I'm going to Pride. I'm going to an art fair tomorrow morning in my hometown with my best friend. Gotta go. Yeah, I don't know.
It's gonna be fun.
It's gonna be a good time. It's gonna be a good time. But I need something, to rekindle the drive to get a max cape. I'm still gonna get a max cape. I've not like abandoned the goal entirely, but like stinky. How have you been, Michael?
I've been pretty good.
You've been fucking hot.
I've been hot, dude. Oh my
you've
gosh.
Been hot. Let me tell you, you've been hot.
More than one way. I sent Oxie a picture yesterday. The thermometer in my car said 108. And then after I sent that picture, it then said 110. So, and that was like driving down the road too. So I don't know how these the thermometers work in your car, but I'm pretty sure it should be cooler if you're moving. I don't know, but it's been warm in Texas, and I just don't want to go outside. I got glasses last year, like late last year, and this is the first time I've ever experienced like being somewhere, like being in the car, being inside, and then you walk outside, and then your glasses just fog up. Like that's a new thing.
I was gonna say, oh, that shit happens all the time where I'm at, dog.
That's like it's very annoying. Like I have to take my glasses off and wipe them off and can't see anything. It's just so humid. Mm-hmm. It's bad. Is your computer recording desktop audio, by the way? Is that on or off?
It is not. I did make sure that we don't have desktop audio on. Even if I unhide all, desktop audio is muted and then it is turned very far down. So I have made sure.
I was worried.
Like, yeah, no, it's like that's the annoying part. Is like the reason why things are going to be scuffed is because I'm going to assume that they're still the way they were.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Like I had this OBS set up with all my scenes for about 4 years. I got my PC in January of 2020 because it was. I got my loan return and I was considering buying a PC. And funny enough, the thing that actually pushed me to buy a PC was the girl who I was flirting with at the cafeteria I worked at the time. She was talking about PC gaming and like wanting to do like a PC upgrade. And I was like, yeah, I've been looking to it like various websites. And she's like, oh, cool. If you get one, let me know. I'm like, I mean, if there's ever been a better time. So I just sent it for the PC upgrade. And it is needless to say been life changing. Unfortunately, that girl did not stick around. She would eventually become my ex-girlfriend one day. However, the motivation for the PC is still stuck. There's no bad blood there or anything like that. It's just a fun little anecdote about what pushed me years ago to buy the PC. But like it has been growing and evolving for years, and it was really cool. And now the OS is wiped, and I'm on Windows 11 instead of Windows 10.
Oh no,
which is weird. Windows 11. I didn't know what I had. I just assumed that was Windows 11 on my old computer. It was not. It was Windows 10.
I'm gonna be a boomer, and I won't have Windows 11 for like another few years.
Low key, I wish I could say the same. I gotta level with you. Windows 11, it's very round, it's very new, and like, look how high tech I am. It's like, I don't care. Just like, just do the function. Don't look smooth and high tech about it. Just do what you need to do. Like all of my windows have rounded edges now. It bothers the shit out of me for some reason. I don't know, man. I interrupted how your week is going. What are you talking about?
No worries.
It's been hot. You've been hot.
It's been hot. It's been hot, and I haven't wanted to leave my house, which is fine because AC works great. But like the reprieve of having a pool is not even really a reprieve, because at the end of the day, when you go swimming at like 5 o'clock, the water in the pool is 94 degrees Fahrenheit. So it feels like you're just taking a bath. I mean, we have it's a very shallow
water
pool.
It's so shitty when it gets like that, dude. Ugh.
Yeah, we have a shallow pool, so it's like only 2 feet deep. So it doesn't take a lot for the sun to heat it up, but all day it's just cooking. And like I've contemplated just putting the hose in the pool just to circulate some of that cold water. But did they make these like aerator fountain things that are supposed to keep the water temperature down? And so we might snag some of those. But other than like real life, I guess I could say it now. It's been like a week and a half. I don't have a job anymore. Got laid off, which is fine. We're gonna figure it out. But I'm on the job search, and this has allowed me to take some time to do. I don't know. I took the last week and I streamed like 3 days, which it was So much fun. I got a bunch of hunter rumors done. I got the entire what is it? The guild. It's called the Guild Hunter set. I got the entire Guild Hunter set done in 77. It was like sub 80. I think it was actually 65 rumors it took me to get the entire set and the Huntsman kit. And so now for the log, I just need the pet. And hunter rumors are actually really, really, really good content. Once you get your block list set up and you're not catching things like Kyets and Kebits and you still catch Kebits, but like you're not doing the weird tasks, like the ones where you have to. It's the saber-tooth Kyets and the Leporias, and anyway, you block all those.
The pitfall ones, yeah.
Yeah. So you block all those, and basically what I do now is salamanders, chins, Kebits, and antelopes. And those are the 4 just in rotation. Sometimes it's back to back, which is kind of cool. So I'm gonna have a fat stack of chins in my bank, and I'm gonna have a bunch of bone shards and herbs and bird's nests from the reward pouches. So rumors are actually really good. I really, really like it. Troll asked, or he said the antelope bolts are supposed to be cracked too. So the list that I was using said to block antelopes, but I switched it up and I blocked red salamanders instead of the sunlight antelopes because of the bolts and the sunfire shards for bone. The bone shard training.
The prayer, yeah. As an Iron Man, that's probably a better call. Because the reason you block the sunlight antelopes is because pitfall tasks are generally really slow. So it's not great XP per hour for rumors.
Yeah.
So like I'll probably block sunlight antelopes on my main. I don't really need them. But on the iron, the bolts are good.
For rumors, it's really cool because they have a pity rate, essentially. So the drop rate for the special item is like guaranteed after a certain point. So for chins, it's like 1 in 100. So once you catch 100 chins, you get it. The antelopes is only like 18 or 20. So it's not terribly long. I think it's the same for salamanders. Salamanders like 20 or 30. It's fairly good content. Once you get your block list set up, it's great content. Other than rumors, I don't know if this is probably going to be a spoiler for Achievement of the Week, but I got my first corrupted gauntlet kill. I got it, I guess, quicker than I would expect, but I've been doing a lot of like regular gauntlet over the course of playing this game. I think I have as much kills as I have deaths at the regular gauntlet on my main account. So I have like 70 kills, 70 deaths. And then on this account, I have like 20 KC and not that many deaths in the regular gauntlet. And then in the corrupted gauntlet, I'm like 2 KC with 25 deaths. So as far as like KD, it's the odds aren't bad. But it's do I like corrupted gauntlet? No. Is it getting easier? Yes. The difference between like the regular gauntlet and the corrupted gauntlet for me is chill and like not chill. if the drop rate for the enhanced was decent with the regular gauntlet, I would just do that, because having 10 minutes to prep and then the fight doesn't take that long, so much better of an experience versus you're sweating your balls off for like 3 to 5 minutes straight killing the corrupted Hunlif versus, you could go at your own pace killing the regular one. I even did a melee kill the other day. Like the regular gauntlet is just so much easier. But it's not going to be advantageous for me to do that versus just learning the corrupted gauntlet. So that's going to be the plan. So I'm at 2KC now. I know that people do this for a long time, but for me, it doesn't, like, I can't see myself just doing KC after KC after KC, but I know I'm going to get there. It'll come eventually. Cause like, that's how I felt with Zulrah. And now I'm up to like 225 KC at Zulrah. And I don't even bat an eye. Just kill Zulrah and get it done. Like, it's not that hard.
And it will come with corrupted gauntlet,
Yeah. That's what I'm thinking. Like, as I get, more used to the fight and it becomes less like white knuckle, hold your breath, don't want to mess up kind of thing.
Mhm.
I think it comes down to DPS as well. Like I'm 94 or I'm almost 94 magic, but I'm only 85 range and I don't have the Chambers prayers. So I think if I spend some time getting some more range levels and maybe some more defense levels, uh, the grind could become less arduous in the sense that I'm just taking less damage and I'm able to do more damage. So the fights are faster. Because I
Mhm.
think in terms of fights, like it's almost as long as it's taking me to prep. So the kills are very, very long. And I know this because I was streaming when I got my first kill, and I wanted to clip me getting the kill. So I started watching back the VOD when I started it. I'm like, surely it's like 2 or 3 minutes. So I hit the plus 30 a couple of times, and I'm like, Hunlif has 1,000 HP, right? And I only got it down to like 500 HP in like 2 or 3 minutes. So like, damn, this is a long fight, longer than I thought it was. So hopefully with some more range levels, defense levels, and I don't know if I'm going to stop and do chambers to get rigor and augury. I don't think so, but definitely would help. I mean,
It's a double-edged sword because rigor and augury would make Hunlif a lot easier, but you know what would make Chambers a lot easier? A Bofa.
Bofa.
So it's like either way, you're gonna have to suffer at one of them to do better in the other. I would just push through Gauntlet, honestly.
Yeah.
Because I think Gauntlet you can get better at, and your weapons eventually will pop off, and you'll be okay. But I think a couple of the critiques that I would have on it are, yeah, like first of all, you're doing a lot better riding low HP. That was a big problem you had for a while. Is you get knocked to like 45 and you would panic eat back up to like 99. And like that is like unless the boss is capable of hitting you through prayer, you don't need to worry about having your HP above its max hit through prayer, right? So
Right.
like there are a couple of exceptions, like CM Ulm, you want to keep your HP above like 50 because CM Ulm will hit you for like a 47 just for laughs. Same thing with like Zulrah, who can
Oh
hit
my
you for a
gosh.
41.
It's always
But
annoying.
like even Verzik's auto attacks, if prayed against properly, don't do more than like 20 to 25 damage usually. So you can ride relatively low HP, especially in a fight like the Hunlif, because you can eat during the tornadoes and things like that. You've gotten better with riding low HP. The two things I would work on are really pay attention to Hunt. Like really pay attention because a lot of the times you'll go for several ticks attacking with the same style because you're worried about eating or praying or
Mhm.
doing whatever without looking at Hunlif's overhead prayers, right? The other thing is the spam clicking to get to where you're trying to go.
Mm.
You will like attack Hunlif and then like spam click somewhere else. You pretty much override like any action that you do
Oh.
in that time frame. And it makes it so that like especially if you need to like move then attack, right? You're wasting ticks by spam clicking, and then if you're moving and attacking at the same time, because again, it's like move, attack, move, attack,
Uh-huh.
move, attack, move, attack. You want to be clicking every tick, not machine gunning for 3 ticks, and then clicking on what you think is the fourth. So reduce the amount of clicking that you do when you're trying to navigate, and then pay closer attention to what Hunlif's overhead prayers are. It's gonna happen where you attack Hunlif with the style he's protecting against. That's just how the gauntlet works, right? Like that's why the overheads are there. But I think if you lock in those a little bit better, the fight's gonna get a little bit smoother for you. Because again, the low HP is looking better. Tornado, your footwork with the tornado navigation. There were several times where I'm like, oh yeah, no, he's dead for sure. And you just like hit him with the whop and just like
Got out of
broke
there.
the tornado's ankles and got out. I'm like, okay, damn. He's like he's navigating these tornadoes pretty well. So it's like, it's stuff like that where there's improvement, but there's still more Hunlif fight things that you gotta get better
Yeah.
at. But then I think once you get those down, it's like Zulrah. Once you learn the rotation and once you actually learn to like click and switch and things like that, and I don't want to say like you pre-switch Gauntlet or anything like that, but you'll learn a trick or two that will keep the fight going a little bit easier. So
Yeah.
just give it time.
There's mechanical stuff, obviously. Like you mentioned Zulrah. Like if you know the rotation, then you know what prayer you need to put on first, and then you know your gear swap, and you know where you got to stand. Those become kind of second nature. And then you can focus on DPS. You're not having to think about 4 or 5 different things, and then like actually killing the boss is the last thing. That's kind of how I feel like I've improved with Zulrah as far as doing it on my Iron Man is concerned. Because like on my main, I just bring a Bofa or a T-bow, and you just range the whole time. So you don't have to worry about gear switches. You don't have to worry about which prayer you're rocking, because you just keep the same prayer. So there's a lot of mechanical stuff that just becomes second nature once you learn it. And I think that you're right. There will be stuff like that for the Gauntlet.
Yeah.
Even with prep, because like my prep sometimes is just dog shit, and I panic, and like I don't know if I should be going for food or where I should be running. Or
the amount of time. So yesterday Michael was streaming, and the amount of times he was like, "I'm gonna do this," and I would just type no, 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 like repeatedly and spam the Twitch chat with it. And he was like, "Oh, sorry, off chat." And he's like, "Yeah, I made a crystal teleport seed." I'm like, "What about your perfected bow?" He's like, "Yeah, that would have been smart to use my shards on that one to get the better bow and then make it perfected." Huh? Yeah. Oh well. I'm like, "It's a wipe." He's like, "Give it a try."
To me, like every attempt is an attempt, unless like I just don't have any food. If I have at least a half inventory of cooked food, it's gonna be an attempt. Obviously, it'll result in a death, because there is a certain amount of food that you need to be able to just out eat the chip damage. And so if you don't have enough food, you can't survive. No matter what your skill level is, you just can't survive with like tier 1. Because I'm only doing tier 1 and then perfected weapons. So I may, like, once I get better with the prep and more efficient with it, I may try for tier 2 and see if that's something I can push myself to perfect as well. But sometimes the layouts just they don't work, because you have to run around, and you don't have certain resources close to you, so you have to get it when you're going for like the demi bosses, and sometimes you can't find the demi bosses right away. And Troll mentioned like going for the halberd is good for the iron, but like I'm really bad with the halberd. I think that it would take
practice in the regular combat.
Yeah,
because the halberd is great. But like, damn, the halberd is a lot easier. The problem with the halberd is it's easier to mess up the tornado.
Yeah,
that's why the halberd is so much harder, because you can't like run around the room and still DPS the boss. You have to like navigate around the tornadoes and the floor.
Yeah,
with the halberd, which is why it becomes so much more difficult. But you'll get there.
Fear says the pathing during the prep is a little wonky. Yeah, it's just like I think there's improvements with prep, and then improvements obviously in the fight that are just gonna happen over time. Getting used to like the red version versus like there's things you can do in the regular gauntlet that you cannot do in corrupted, just because it doesn't the time and the added like defense and HP just don't allow you to do that. So it's a different like it's the same encounter, it's the same monster, it's the same thing, it's like the same everything, but it's also in the same vein, like very different, which I think is kind of interesting. You know, it's not something that I thought about when I was like, yeah, I'm gonna do the gauntlet. I thought, you know, it's just the regular gauntlet but harder. But no, it's different strategies, obviously, which is interesting. But other than the gauntlet, what else have I done? Not a whole lot. Oh, I got 85 wood cutting. So a little side quest that I've been on is I'm trying to get a redwood log for my perfected Quetzal whistle blueprint, and it's criminal that they put stuff within forestry and in the game, I guess, as a whole. But like the only way to get a redwood log on an Iron Man is to chop it yourself. You cannot. There's like nothing drops redwood logs except for certain shades in Shades of Morton. But to get those shades and to get those keys, you need redwood logs. You have to burn pyre redwood pyre logs or something. So there's a lot of stuff that depends on having 90 wood cutting, and it's in like the stuff that seems like pretty mid game to me, like the Quetzal whistle, the lumberjack outfit upgrade for like the forestry outfit. You need redwood logs as well, like 250 of them. So it's kind of sneaky as an Iron Man, when as a main, you could just buy them off the GE. You never have to have 90 wood cutting to get a lot of this stuff. But so yeah, I'm on a side quest to get a singular redwood log. So I got 85 wood cutting, and I'm going to try and boost to 90 and see if I can chop one within like the minute and a half that I'm going to be boosted. And if I do, great. If I don't, then I'll probably just switch to wood cutting as my AFK thing that I do instead of mining, which currently right now I'm 550k till 98 mining. And then it's obviously, what is it, almost 1.2 mil to 99, which if I'm doing bone shards, that's like 50 hours of mining to get to 99. I think I get like 40 or 50k an hour. So yeah, we're a ways off. Now that I'm not doing that as like a side thing while I'm working, it's harder to like get myself just to log into mine. When if I'm playing during the day now, I'm probably going to be doing something more active, which is like bossing or questing, or I don't know. It's just like sitting here looking at my computer, not doing anything else, just bone shard mining doesn't interest me. So I may do some volcanic mine, because I've heard that that's better solo now. Which, speaking of skilling, that's my week. I was
gonna say, dog. We you had a lot going on this week.
We should get into main title content. We
absolutely should.
We're a bit into this now. So, speaking of skilling, you guys have read the title. You know that we're gonna do a transition here, and transition us into a tier list. Oxie, what are we talking about today?
Oh, that's a bit of a vague question, isn't it? I just got killed by Chaos Elemental. I didn't get killed by PK. The boys are still out there, but I just like rode low HP because I'm me. So I'm like re-gearing to get back out there. But in the meantime, we are doing a skilling tier list episode. And originally we're like, let's do our favorite AFK skilling methods. And then we kind of got in the discussion of like, well, we can't rank them based on what's the most AFK, because there's just an objective winner. It's star mining, right? Or like NMZ or something like that. There are objective winners in what is more AFK. And then we're like, well, let's talk about low intensity skilling methods. And then Michael and I had a conversation. I had a conversation with my tile race team at about the same time that was like, well, low intensity is a weird format, right? Because like rooftop agility doesn't take a whole lot of sweating, but I can't click and do something else. Like you can't like play a different game while running rooftop agility, right? Yeah. So like we don't know. And then Michael and I have kind of determined that this episode is a tier list of our favorite skilling methods that if you asked your friend about it, they would go, "Oh, dude, don't worry, it's totally AFK." Yeah. Like that is so like it's not necessarily like fully get up, walk away from your computer AFK, but it's not tick manipulation. It's not blackjacking. It's not the Howled Sepulcher. It's not a skilling boss minigame. It's nothing like that. It's not like the cooking, fire making, super hybrid ball sweating method, right? Like we're just chilling, I think that like our favorite chill skilling method.
Yeah.
That's probably what the title of this episode is going to be, is our favorite chill the tier list of chill skilling methods. Chilling methods.
We'll work on it.
Sure.
We'll work on it.
It's a working title. We'll figure it out. But yeah, that's what we're talking about today. And we've transitioned to this lovely, lovely, lovely tier list here.
Beautiful. We have about 20, 25, I think.
Yeah, we had like 16, 18, and then the patrons just kept giving us ideas. So like,
Which is great.
Actually terrible. So we're like, okay, we'll add that one too. Okay, fine. And then it's just like we had to like make them a square image so they look really good. We put way too much effort into this tier list. So make one yourself and show us in the Xpwaste chat to make sure our effort didn't go to waste. But let's kick us off, Michael. Where do you want to start? What skilling method sticks out to you that you want to discuss first on this tier list? Because it's not like fully gloves on, but like we're giving each other the eyes from across the bar.
I see you.
Now, you know,
I see you. Should we do like more like random ones, or should we get the obvious ones out of the way?
Let's do a rando to start.
How about rumors? Hunter rumors, because we were talking about it earlier. Have you done hunter rumors?
Yeah, I have. I've done 30, 40. Let me check the clog on the main. What is this? Is this considered a mini game? Hunter rumors?
It's an other, I think.
It's an other. I've done 31 hunter rumors in my time.
Okay.
And it's good content. You know, I don't have any really gripes against it. I don't know if it's necessarily like super AFK. Mainly because I don't think a lot of the rumors are super AFK that you get. Like, I don't think salamanders are particularly AFK. I don't think shins are particularly AFK. You know? So, like, I don't know if it's the best, like, super chill, don't worry about it method, but, like, you know.
So I'm thinking, to start us off, this is probably like a really good B tier method. As far as when it comes to, you could do this while you're watching TV, or this could be something that you full focus on.
Yeah, as far as like
at the end of the day, you're just trying to get the rumor sacks, the hunter reward, whatever it's called, and there are some that are really just like you have to pay attention. If not, you're going to lose your trap. Your trap is going to despawn, or you're just not going to progress. I think the most annoying thing about doing rumors is the teleporting around. You can't just stay at one spot the entire time, but that's also kind of why I like it. It takes the monotony of you have to catch how many thousand chins to train rumor, or however many thousand herbivore, and it splits it up between a lot of different methods while still giving you a decent XP per hour, because once you turn in your rumor, you get that little bonus, and it's kind of mitigated as far as you're not losing out on XP by doing pitfalls, whereas pitfalls are not the best XP per hour. But say you get a rumor, you do one pitfall trap and you get the special item, you take it back. That's a lot of XP for doing one pitfall trap. So it can shake out to be like super chill, but it also can be pretty sweaty if you want to. So I think as far as middle of the road, this is where I would put hunter rumors.
Yeah, because it's nice to chill with, but the diversity really steps it up, which is nice.
And you can make your block list fit your account. You can do it if you want to pet hunt. You can set it up to where if you want certain resources, you can set it up to where if you just don't want to do salamanders at all, you can have those all blocked out, because there's only 2 types. And so you could customize it however you want. So B or C? That would be my question. Leave it in B
for sure.
B. Okay. I think in the vein of like things that are kind of obscure right now, at least, not a ton of people know about calcified mining because it's kind of new. In terms of like, this came out within the last 6 to 8 months. When did Varlamore come out? That's a question. March or April? March. Was it March 20th? I think it was like mid to late March. So within the last 3 or 4 months, calcified mining has become one of my new favorite mining methods, simply because it is the same intensity as like Motherlode Mine, where your vein lasts for probably 30 to 40 seconds. But instead of like getting smithing XP, you're banking prayer XP. So if you guys have not done any calcified deposit mining or calcified rocks mining, so good. So good. All you have to do is get access to Camptorum. It's in the southeast part, southeast part, and bring a pickaxe because you're going to have some fun. I personally would put calcified in the I don't think it's quite S tier. I would put it in the A tier personally in terms of usefulness for my account.
I have done 37K worth of calcified mining rocks in my day. So I shouldn't be the guy to ask. I think because it gives prayer. Again, I also don't play Iron Man, but I know a lot of mains who trained with the bone shard tag. So A tier seems fine.
Yeah.
I don't know.
If you don't want to get the bones yourself, yeah, that's fine. I think had you still been working on mining, you probably would have enjoyed this more than Motherlode Mine for the same amount of like roundabout XP. So I've been doing this while we've been recording, and I'm sitting at 44K an hour, kind of low effort. So if you guys see me looking over this way, I'm looking at my game is on my side monitor, and I'm mining at the spot. But you have the odd chance of getting like the wet version of the deposit. I don't know what you call that. The oozing one. The water begins to ooze, and that gives you a little bit better XP.
The wet version.
So the calcified will start to like cry. It'll like ooze water. And if you do that, if you mine that one, it gives you the calcified deposits more commonly, and you mine the bone shards quicker. So every once in a while, you click on a special rock. It looks like the Tears of Guthix animation. It's not very intense. When I was working and I was playing RuneScape, I was doing this because, like I said, it'll allow you to mine for like 30 to 40 seconds, sometimes up to a minute, without having to look at your screen. And if you can look away for a minute, that's a pretty good method, in my opinion. So had you been working on mining, I think you would have really liked it.
Yeah.
But in terms of mining methods that are really good, that are A tier or better, I would say Shooting Stars is probably my personal first S tier, and I think that I would hope that you would agree.
I would agree. I thought we were going to do MLM next for the contrary. But don't worry, it'll be the contrary when we get there.
Okay.
Stars is one of the best skilling updates they've done in the last couple. They finally got a good method for it. It finally feels good to do. Stars is where it's at. Stars is S tier, 100%. Go to the OSRS portal, find a star that works for you, right? It's good. It's good stuff. It's good stuff.
The actual website, it's like portal.
It's OSRS portal.
OSRS portal. Or is it OSRS.portal?
Just type in your search bar OSRS portal.
Oh, it's OSRSportal.com. This website, I don't know who manages this, but it's kind of like a mini version of the wiki. This website has so much.
It's like a honed wiki. Like it has, If you go to OSRSportal.com and you click on the tools section, they have so many different like calculators and different. I guess they're all calculators technically, but it's how I've been able to figure out my time for. This has been really nice.
There you go. They have calculators for things that I didn't even think you needed a calculator. Like for Miscellanea, it has a Kingdom of Miscellaneous simulator, a Slayer task calculator, a Birdhouse calculator. Like there's just a bunch of stuff. Wintertod calculator. Wow. Okay. So
like I said. That's how I've known how many hours it takes, yeah.
I guess I just forgot that I was streaming. I'm recording this webpage, so you guys just saw on the screen. I gotta remember that. So,
feeling it, brother.
It's been a while since we've done a tier list, so you just saw it. So if you're watching the YouTube video or this Spotify video, the Stars portal, it's great. And you can go on there and they have a stars tracker is what we're trying to get at. You can there's a plugin on RuneLite where if you go in the vicinity of a star, it'll log it and it'll send it to this website, and then it'll track where it's at and what world it's on. And it's very, very updated. Like frequently, there's always a star on there. It'll tell you what tier the star is, what location, and so the way that I do my stars is when it's about to deplete, I'll go to the website and I'll have my next one queued up. So as soon as it depletes, I'm like already teleported. I already know where I need to go, and you don't have to spend time like going into your house and using the telescope or going to a Discord to look. You just literally go to the website. It's really great on mobile. Stars are S tier, 100%. Before the update, though, F tier, 100% F tier. Like the biggest thing that they've changed with stars is the ability for multiple people to mine it, and it doesn't deplete faster. That was the biggest gripe that I had when I was doing shooting stars, because I did a fair amount of shooting star mining before the update because I wanted the gold prospector, because it was pretty rare before they updated stars. You would find one, and then you would hope and pray that the star mining CC didn't know about it, because if they did, then like 100 people would just show up and your star would be gone in a matter of minutes. And then you'd have to find a new one, and you'd have to go through all the rigmarole of locating another one. So there were certain tactics that I would use to try and avoid people and like go in obscure locations and go on like total level worlds. But like, you don't need to do that anymore. If you haven't mined stars, the breakdown is basically like for every tier that the star has, you can click your screen once and then wait 7 minutes and then click your screen again and then wait 7 minutes and then click your screen again. And you do that until it's been depleted, and then find the next star, and you do that. And 20 to 30K mining XP per hour at pretty high levels. You can expect probably 20K at lower levels, but even 20K.
It's super slow XP per hour. It is super slow. But holy shit, it is so nice. Yeah. You don't have to do anything.
Amazing.
Like, you genuinely do nothing, and you have a fantastic time. It's well worth it. This is why I wish I would have had an iPad prior to when I got one, because this would have sped up the mining by at least a couple of weeks. It's not like oh my god, this is the best mining XP in the game, but it feels the best.
Yeah.
As far as the mining training is concerned, stars feel the best, and I think that's why it's been one of the best skilling updates they've released, right? It feels good, man. Feels good.
And when Oxie can admit out loud on a podcast that mining feels good, you know they did something right.
Yeah, like truly, dude, mining is... Look, here's my stance on it. With the addition of shooting stars and the calcified rocks, mining is now like 5% worse than agility. I think 3 years ago, there was no contest. Because they dropped the Hallowed Sepulcher and then left the worst skill in the game far and away to be mine. But I think without the Hallowed Sepulcher, agility would be the worst skill in the game. But because we have a high intensity method that offers good rewards and like a speed run time and like a lot of stuff for a good variance of players, Hallowed Sepulcher just barely keeps agility out of the worst skill in the game spot for me. That said, mining has been improved quite well with the addition of shooting stars and calcified rocks. You know what makes mining absolute fucking dog shit?
What?
Our first F tier. And I'll fight you to the death on this one.
No.
F tier.
It's not.
Tier. F tier. F stands for I fucking hate.
It is not F tier. No.
You better give me some good justification as to how Motherlode Mine is not an F tier skilling activity.
I don't think it's F tier. Okay. I need give me a quick synopsis other than the fact that you hate it. You know, take like emotions.
I have cause. It's because I hate it.
Take your emotions out of the picture and tell me what about Motherlode Mine puts this in the F tier as far as skilling is concerned?
It is not nearly as AFK as it leads itself on to be. You have to specifically find ways to like inventory management in an AFK activity shouldn't go together. You
Right?
shouldn't
You
have
don't
to
have
worry
to
about
manage your inventory.
you shouldn't have to manage your inventory. You shouldn't have to be like, well, if I do 828, then 26, 26, 26, 26, then 27, then 25 and a half, I'm good to go. Bullshit. Absolutely stupid bullshit. The rate with which you get the currency to unlock the item is real slow, especially for a method that touts itself as being super AFK. Now, granted, they've made some changes to the Falador Diary and to Motherlode Mine to begin with that soften this blow a little bit. I have not done Motherlode Mine. There's a running joke in the Xpwaste chat that Jagex is updating skills that I get 99s in. Like the minute I get the 99, they release some fire updates. So like I got 99 mining, they updated Motherlode Mine, calcified rocks came out, and then mining wasn't too bad. I got 99 agility, they adjusted XP rates across the board. Agility became marginally better to train. So the running joke is that I should get 99 rune crafting in a week. Like I should just pay a shit ton of money and blitz 99 rune crafting so that they drop changes in the next quality of life blog that make rune crafting really, really good. And I think that'd be kind of funny. But the currency is too slow to obtain. Inventory management is stinky. I have not done lower level Motherlode Mine in a long time to tell you whether or not the things are on a timer. I'm not sure if that's a change that they made.
They did.
Prior to them being on a timer, it was terrible because the competition, it's just like the competition also feels bad. It's not like wood cutting or fishing where like, you know, oh, we can all mine the same or cut the same tree or fish in the same spot, and it's not really going to be that big of a thing. Motherlode Mine, it would deplete after like 2 ores. And it would just, you would be like, okay, guess I'll go myself and run to the other side of the mine where this like bot that just crashed me isn't going to be, you know? I think once you get to the upper floor, it does get to be a little bit smoother again, because I didn't do lower floor with timers ever. It's stinky. You can't even enter without a pickaxe. You know how fucking annoying that is for a clue scroll? You can't enter Motherlode Mine without a pickaxe. Like, oh, it makes sense. You're there to mine. You should have a pickaxe on you. Not for the hard clue step. It's not like, it's just all these things stack up to be like, dude, I don't want to do this. Like, it is too much for an AFK skilling method, you know? But for so long, it was better than the other AFK mining methods because, like, you couldn't AFK mining prior to Motherlode Mine. So, like, yeah, I guess compared to, like, oh, I'm AFKing adamant rocks and mining 2 adamant rocks once every 8 minutes when they respawn. Like, yeah, I guess it's a little bit better, but man, dude, it is just Motherlode Mine is such a dog shit piece of content. I don't know. Maybe someone's saying like, "Oh, you haven't gone back since the changes." You're goddamn right. I haven't gone back since the changes. The hopper on the upper floor is not on the collection log, so I literally never have to go back there unless I get the clue step. And I'm so fucking petty, I might drop that clue step. I don't care. I might do it just to prove a point. It's not about winning; it's about sending a message. So,
oh no,
this is far and away of the skilling methods that I'm looking at. This could be the only one, but this is without question an F tier skilling. I fucking hate Motherlode.
Oh gosh. Oh gosh.
And I have to censor. Someone complained in one of the last episodes that they didn't like how much beeping went on with Bird and I. There's going to be more beeping talking about Motherlode Mine.
I think
it's the
worst. For the sake of your like mental health, I think you really should go back and just experience the changes. Because from what I've heard, you don't need to do inventory management because the sack just goes to 108. You don't have to like finagle it to where you almost fill it and then you overfill it. It literally just, it stops accepting it once you hit 108 or whatever the max is. So you don't need to do inventory management. What was the other thing you're saying? The diary. So you only need one piece of prospector, so you're there for maybe like an hour. Because you can get, I think the helm is the
I
cheapest
know
one.
they've changed it. Yeah, no, I know they changed it. They made it the helmet, which like the boomerscape in me is like
This is a
gall, the
really boomer
audacity.
take. It really is.
I
a
should
boomer
get I should
take.
get refunded the achievement
Oh,
diary
it's really-
points or whatever. I should get like a
They should
I should
give
get
you
like
nuggets.
a trimmed. I should get like an extra trim on my achievement diary cape for having to get that stupid ass achievement all those years ago to make the fucking mole guy or whatever it was.
And you don't actually need to go to Motherlode Mine ever, because you can get your prospector pieces from Volcanic Mine for
That's tack. Don't
arguably
go.
much less effort. But so my experience with Motherlode Mine is completely the opposite. I did Motherlode Mine in the same version that Oxie did, and I think it just comes down to your mental fortitude when it comes to that skilling method, because there are things you can do that, for instance, if you have like a hammer and I think it's a gem bag in your inventory, you don't really need to do that much inventory management. I think you can do 26 the entire time, and the bag is like one less. It was like one less full than the max, which at that point you weren't losing out on the nuggets. So on 2 accounts, I did almost all of my mining from like 90 to 99 on my main at Motherlode Mine, because at that point shooting stars were not a thing, and Volcanic Mine, I did a bit of Volcanic Mine, but it was really dependent on having a good team. So on the nights that we were able to like get it done, I did some, maybe it was like less than 1 million XP. Out of the 7 or 8 million XP from 90 to 99, less than 1 million was done at Volcanic Mine. So a lot of, I tell you, a lot of time spent in the Motherlode Mine. You don't need to do that much inventory management. And the only other thing that kind of is annoying is like, if there's a lot of people mining at the same spot, then you have to do a lot more jumping around to different nodes than you would if you found a spot that you were like alone at. But if you find the right world at the right time, you get a whole row of nodes or spots to yourself. And now that the hopper is on the upper floor, that takes the second most annoying thing, which was once your inventory is full, you have to go downstairs, deposit in the hopper, go back upstairs and start mining. If there was a mining method that was the most annoying, I would say Motherlode Mine is that, but I don't think it's F tier. I don't think it's as bad as your boomer take is giving it.
But my question is, I don't think you have an F tier on this list. This list is your bread and butter. You're gonna be hard pressed to put anything below a B tier in this list, right? I gotta level out, right? I gotta present the options to level it out, right? Motherlode Mine sucks. F. Bad. It's bad.
I don't think there are any F tier skilling methods. Like we made a tier list.
I can think of one of them.
It's not.
Think of one.
Okay, but this isn't a list from like 2023, dog. This is 2024. We're talking June of 2024, almost July. And the skilling method has changed, and they've updated the dog shit things in the rebalancing blog to where they're not like it's not here anymore. Just because you haven't done it.
I'm not speaking from the perspective of a player who's brand new to Motherlode Mine. I'm speaking from the perspective of a player who started doing Motherlode Mine on mobile in 2018 at work. That's when I started doing Motherlode Mine. And even then, at like 35 mining, I thought, this kind of sucks. Right? And then it just didn't get any better ever. It was just whatever. It's just like, I will admit, upper floor, hog. Upper floor is good. Increased hopper size, hog. That's good stuff, right? It doesn't ever sit right with me, this method. And it's never going to. This is look, if you are a new scaper, if you are TOA money RuneScaper, and You think Motherload Mine is the greatest thing since sliced bread? That's good, man. I'm not going to kink shame. That's great. I'm so proud of you. This is, without question, one of the worst healing methods in the game.
Are you going to budge at all? Are we going to do a D tier compromise, or is this like we have to move on because you're going to spend the whole time?
I think we have
me?
to move on. I don't think I can ever. I don't think I can comfortably put Motherload Mine anywhere above the F. It's terrible.
Okay,
I have to keep it there.
Moving on.
I'm sure I'll be there to compromise for other things. This is my lock-in. I fucking hate Motherload Mine.
Okay, then let's do the last mining method on the list, which is amethyst.
I conversely have no opinion on because I don't think I've ever mined an amethyst rock in my life.
Again, like so for as far as mining methods, dude, like you missed out.
Well, around the time where I was at the point where I could mine amethyst, I didn't have the superior mining gloves or whatever it was, the Giga Super Chad mining gloves.
Yeah.
Free rework. And then even if I were to get the gloves, it was like, yeah, it's like 10K slower than stars.
Yeah.
I'm like, they're like, but you make a lot of money. I'm like, but I increased the time by like 50 hours. I'm not doing amethyst. I said, I have other ways to make money. Amethyst is like 60K GP an hour. You make 130 mil from 92 to 99 in 2 years when you get from 92 to 99. Jamie has had an alt that has been money making on the side since like 2017 or some shit like that. She just got 99 mining at Amethyst like a month ago. And she's been AFKing that shit for years.
It's slow. It's very slow.
It is so slow. So for me, I was turned off by the speed because I was on a time limit for 99 mining. I've heard a lot of people really like Amethyst. I've got no reason to dislike Amethyst, but I've also never done it to be like, oh, dude, Amethyst is the GOAT. Like, stick here forever. So I'm very much like, I'll just trust your judgment wherever you want to stick Amethyst. I've genuinely never done it.
So if this was like pre-rebalancing for mining rebalancing, I would stick Amethyst probably in like the C or D tier. But they've changed it quite a bit in the rebalancing to where I think it's on a timer. The ore spot is on a timer. And then with the gloves, you have the chance to mine extra. And so before, you had guaranteed, if you were going to mine amethyst, you get 1. And then with the expert mining gloves, it was a chance to get a second one. So at most, you would click the rock, and then you would get 1, maybe 2. And then you would have to move on to the next one. Now, you can get like 2 to 3, and then it depletes. Or with the gloves, you get like 3 to 4. That's just a guess. I've done a bit of mining, but I haven't really paid attention. On my Iron Man, the mining methods that I've really engaged with are stars, post 90, stars, amethyst, and bone shards. Getting to 90 or 92, I think it was 92, I mainly did stars and motherload mine. And then once I got to 92, I was like, I have to mine amethyst because my team is going to need the arrows and the dart tips. And then turns out my team doesn't really need them. So I was like, I'll pump the brakes a little bit and I'll go back to stars and I'll go back to shards. But yeah, they made amethyst better. So I think after the rework, to say all that, it's B tier because it's good. If you have 92 mining and you want to make a bit of money and you want something that's around about as AFK as redwoods, go do amethyst. It's good stuff.
There is no way right now. Troll took a screenshot of it and put it in the recording booth chat, and I just looked at it in the CC. There's a guest named Jake Pix who says, cursing the videos that told me MLM was AFK. And I'm going to respond, thank you, Jake. This is the most validating thing I've heard all week. You're the GOAT. MLM. Okay. Now that that's through, Jake Pix, good shit. He says it's only marginally better than stars, and I have to pay attention. I don't know who this Jake Pix guy is, but he's got some damn good opinion. on MLS.
We agreed to move on. So
We did.
we're not going to talk about
We did agree to
MLF.
move on. We did agree to move on. I say, in the vein of commonly hated skills, how do you feel about rooftop agility?
I prefer rooftops over any other agility method just because if I have to run through a flamethrower 6 times and get reset and then lose the chance to get a chest ever again, I think I'll pull my hair out. So rooftops are A tier when it comes to the only other method of training that skill. I have the receipts to back it up. I have 9,300 laps of already done on my main account. I know.
How do you check to kill count on already?
You do ! Laps and then the name of it. I think you have to type out Ardoin. I think laps.
Ardoin?
I think you can do Artie actually. ! Laps Artie. I don't know. If you don't know the code, you can go to Grace in Berthorpe, and she has a lap counter.
Bro, there is no way I have to run a lap of the Ardoin rooftops to prove a point here. Hold on.
Just go to Berthorpe. Talk to Grace in the Rogue's Den.
Is that actually quicker?
Yeah. Minigame teleport from your house, run down, talk to Grace. Done. And you can actually look at all of your laps, not just the Artie. You can look at all of them. Because you probably have several thousand like Canifis and hopefully not Canifis. Sears. Maybe Prif.
Sears, I've probably got a lot of. Prif, I've got a couple hundred. I had a lot of Falador for a while before they introduced the lap counter. Dude, it was such a bad time in my account when I was like, yeah, dude, 50 is the next best tier, right? Oh god.
I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna say this with all the love in my heart, but maybe you think certain content is bad because you're bad. Like you're like, rooftops suck, dude. Like I would never do rooftops because you're doing Falador.
I'm going to keep that one in my back pocket for the next time you have some out-of-pocket opinion about PvE. I'm going to keep that one in my back pocket.
Because it's valid, right?
So I've checked the receipts here, right? I've got, let's see, 1,600 laps of Apatol, 737 laps of Prith, 2 laps of the Falador rooftop because of the tracking, over 1,000 Sears, and 4,000 even Ardoin rooftop. So, yeah, I have the receipt. I do too, bitch. I really don't think this deserves an A-tier spot. Because it is really hard to do literally anything else. You cannot click away from rooftop agility for more than a couple of ticks. So as far as like low intensity, compared to the hollowed sepulcher, yeah, it's low intensity. But that's like saying, you know, what boss am I thinking of? That's like saying General Grardor is low intensity compared to P3 Verzik. Obviously, but you should still pay attention when General Grardor is out on the field, right? You should still like actually,
actually try.
Yeah, actually pay attention. You cannot efficiently train agility without paying attention. This is not an A-tier skilling. I'm sorry. I can't justify this as an A-tier skilling method. I would put it in C tier. Maybe because the sepulcher is just so much better.
But the sepulcher's not on our list.
It's not on our list.
Effort.
It's not on our list. Like volcanic mine is objectively better than motherlode mine. Like I'm trying to look at some of these methods. Like things that aren't on the list are objectively better XP wise, right? But as far as like, I don't even know how rooftops manage to make a low intensity, right? Because you really can't. I don't know. I would compromise at B tier because there was one time on my iPad I was falling asleep doing Artie at like 9 o'clock at night one time, but like you can't even have 2 hands on the keyboard when you're doing it on your iPad. ask me how I know. I can't write client notes and do Artie rooftops. It actually made it really difficult, right? So I would put this in
true.
the highest I would go, the absolute highest, because maybe you have bad opinions because you're bad at the Hollow Sepulcher. You want to stick that bitch in A tier for some, right? I think because it's the only skilling method for players who can't do the Hollow Sepulcher doesn't justify A tier activity. If you like it that much, B tier is the absolute highest I will go. But for me, this is like C or D tier. I'm not a big rooftop guy. Like I said, were it not for the Hallowed Sepulcher, agility would unquestionably be the worst skill in the game. Because there's only one way to train it, and holy shit, it sucks. You cannot look away. XP per hour is dog shit. Marks of Grace as a main account are useless once you get a graceful set. There is no, like, I guess if rooftop agility was not tied to agility XP, right, there would be literally no reason to do it. There is no reward. There's no like currency gain that is useful. You do it until you get your graceful outfit, and then you fuck off, right? And I know someone's going to say, like, well, you could say that about every skilling method in the game. If it wasn't tied to XP, you wouldn't do it. But, like, yeah, if it wasn't tied to XP, a lot of skilling methods in the game wouldn't be useful, right? But, like, even if we look at the shittiest one of the game, Motherlode Mine, right? You can still sell the ore that you get from MLM. Like, I've seen people make okay money from going from 1 to 99 at Motherlode Mine, right? Because eventually you get Runite ore. Runite ore ain't cheap, right? So you make a little bit of money doing Motherlode Mine. At what cost? But you make a little bit of money. Like rooftops truly make agility just not good. And there are a couple variations of agility training, but it's all almost the exact same thing. I would say the Hallowed Sepulcher and the Brimhaven Agility Arena are the two things off the top of my head that are diverse in agility training. Everything else is run in a circle. It's like the NASCAR jokes, like, oh, he's making a left turn. He's making another left turn. This is the most exciting sport in the world, right? Like, that's all agility is,
Yeah.
And I don't think, the more I explain it, the more I think B tier is too high for rooftop labs. But I really don't think it ever deserves A tier. Just because it's the only low intense method. It's like, ugh.
It's in a category of its own, but I'll agree with B. I fundamentally disagree with a lot of things you said, but we're not here to argue.
You're just going to end it. I fundamentally disagree with a lot of you. That's where you're.
I just disagree with you as a person. No.
It's not quite July yet, Michael. You can't say that.
Oh, sorry.
You gotta calm down.
Sorry. I got 2 more days. You can't do it and do something else. I did it very successfully while doing other things, but I did it on my iPad, and I was basically like watching TV or watching movies, because for me, I did almost 100% of my agility at Artie, because I started my maxing journey when I was 90 agility, because I think I got 90 or like 80. I think it was like 87 technically. So I have a bit of priff. And then I really started doing my maxing journey when I got to like 90. So from 90 to 99, almost exclusively at Artie, like 9,300 laps. And I did almost all of it while I was on paternity leave. So for me, having a newborn baby, they don't do much other than sleep. So you have to, feed them, you rock them. But a lot of the time I was just chilling on my iPad, and my wife and I were watching TV. And so on mobile, they updated it to where you can have the little green boxes. If they didn't have the green boxes on mobile, I'd be out of there. Like, having to remember where to click is just annoying. So I'd have my iPad on my lap, I'd be like laying back like this, and I'd have the TV. I'd glance down, tap the next one, look back up at the TV, glance down, tap the next spot, and like rinse and repeat. So for me, it was really chill and very mindless. The XP per hour wasn't great. I kind of agree with you in the sense that like in terms of skilling methods, it is really boring. But in terms of skilling methods, you don't have anything else that's like low intensity. You can try and do sepulcher on mobile, but that's not going to happen.
I've made it as far as the third to last. No, I made it to the second floor of the fifth floor of sepulcher. You guys know where you have to go through. It's you run through the fire and then you run through the lightning and then you run through the fire again on the second portion, like the second third of the fifth floor. That's as far as I got on my iPad, without any of the tile markers or without any of the like shit that gets highlighted in the Hallowed Sepulcher.
Mm-hmm.
So like, you really shouldn't do Hallowed Sepulcher on mobile. It's really not designed for mobile gaming.
Which is really sad because as a piece of content, it's just artificially made harder by the fact that you don't have plugins or you don't have things on RuneLite that just are quality of life. Like they designed that content.
I don't think it's artificially harder. Like I don't think any part of the Hallowed Sepulcher is artificially more difficult. I think the plugins make it bearable. I think without the plugins and without tile markers, the Hallowed Sepulcher would be. I think it is unquestionably the hardest skilling minigame in the game.
Yeah.
But like I think it would be like a league of its own.
Mm-hmm.
Where like Black Graceful would truly be like, oh shit, dude, you got Black Graceful.
It's like
you got
Blood
the agility transmog. Like holy shit, dude. Like, it would be a big difference if we did not have RuneLite to play the Hallowed Sepulcher because that bitch is hard.
Yeah,
I will say without plugins, without tile markers, Hallowed Sepulcher is hard as shit.
Unnecessarily is what I think trying to say. It's like unnecessarily difficult without plugins. Plugins just make it doable, essentially. So yeah, B tier's fine. I don't think it deserves C tier because what else is there? Or what else are we comparing it to? If you have rooftops, if there was like a different agility method that was slightly better, more XP per hour, but it's the same kind of actions, then sure. Like rooftops can just they can be in the F tier for all I care. But like you don't have any other options to train agility. And I mean, as a main account, you say you have no use for Marks of Grace. You can sell the amylase crystals. They are tradable. It's a bit of money, I guess. They're like each pack. Are you looking it up right now? How much amylase are? Because
they're 816 per crystal. I don't know how much you get back.
Well, one Mark of Grace I think is around 10k GP. So however much that comes out to, it may be 8k GP, guys. I think you get 1,000 amylase or something per. No, 100 amylase.
Those are the dog. If you get 1,000 amylase,
maybe 100 amylase per Mark of Grace.
I'm in the money. Right now.
I think it's 100.
Shitload of money sitting around.
I have like 4,100 Marks of Grace in my bank on my main because like I could buy all the graceful sets, but then what if they do something cool with Marks of Grace down the line? I just have a bunch of graceful sets that I can't wear.
You would still have like 3,000 Marks of Grace if you did that though. Like that's the thing.
But
you would still have so many Marks of Grace if you bought.
I guess if you can sell them back, right?
Your graceful collection, you have so many Marks of Grace.
Is graceful on the collection log?
It is, but only one, so I don't think it tracks multiple sets.
Where does it track it from? Is it in miscellaneous?
Tops and miss.
Oh, it's green logged for me. Okay, cool.
I would hope so.
Well, I didn't know if they had the recolors on there.
Max main, I hope it's a green log.
I didn't know if they had the rooftops on there. Or sorry, I didn't know if they had the recolors on there. Anyway, we need to move on from agility. What do you want to do next?
Let's just round out the big three. I'm looking at two of them for the big three right now. I've got, and their position might surprise you.
Ooh, okay.
Blood rune crafting or soul rune crafting, because it's essentially the same process. Like blood rune crafting. Without thinking, Without thinking, without speaking, without thinking, where are you sticking this method?
I quite liked it, so it would go in the A tier for me.
Hard agree.
It's good.
Blood rune crafting is good content. It is. It's still rune crafting. You're not getting a ton of XP per hour, but it is so much nicer than
Guardians of the
I don't
Rift.
know.
Oh.
Not even that Guardians of the Rift is bad. It's just like you got to pay attention to Guardians of the Rift. Like you really, TMD was trying to duo Guardians of the Rift and Chaos Elemental last night for the tile
damn.
race, and he was like, "Dude, like, thank God Chaos Elemental is getting absolutely just mollywopped right now by the 4 or 5 of us who are out there with our web weavers, because like Guardians of the Rift took so much more attention than Chaos Elemental did.
Than you would think it would.
Yeah, so like as far as like, oh man, dude, Bloodrune Craft, it's good stuff. I can't. I feel like I can't express enough how good Bloodrune crafting is, and I can't express enough how important it is for y'all to get out there and get 77 rune crafting, literally any way possible. Lamp it. I don't care. Do it. Do what you got to do to get to 77 rune crafting, because it's gonna change your life. It's good stuff.
I did rune crafting at a time when rune crafting was the worst skill in the game. The options that you had were you could make lavas, you could do ZMI, or you could do Zaya rune crafting. And I think at a certain point, I was doing rune crafting without day alt, without the option of day alt. But even then, day alt, when you factor in having to collect it, it's still not that great XP per hour because you're spending the hours collecting it, and then you have to go and use it. So like if you have the AFK time to go and get day alt essence, then it can speed up rune crafting in itself. But like if you're going to be rune crafting, you could just spend that time with regular essence and mitigate kind of like having to get day alt altogether. Anyway, I did from 77 to 99 rune crafting basically 100% of the time in Zaya. From 77 to 90, I did blood runes. From 90 to 99, I did soul runes. And as far as like methods go, again, I was on paternity leave for this. It took hundreds of hours, but those were hundreds of hours that I don't really remember being that terrible. So like A tier all the way, 100%. It's very, very, very chill. I don't know if they've done anything recently that makes it like less. I don't know if they've done anything recently that makes it more chill, but like the price of runes have gone down, but you also get way more runes at the end of the day. Whenever I ended my grind 90 to 99, I think I ended up with like 250,000 soul runes with the rune crafting outfit. And what else is there? Basically just a rune crafting outfit. You'd end up with 60% more at the end of the day. So quite a bit of difference in terms of like output for your money. But the price has gone down. I think, wait, no, has the price of soul runes gone down? I think the price of soul runes have gone up because of the shadow. Because when I was doing rune crafting, I think the price of soul runes were like low 100s. And aren't they up to like 200 something now?
Souls are 178 a piece.
Okay. So I think at some point they were up to 200. But like they were like 110, I think, whenever I finished. Blood runes, though, holy smokes. You were talking about blood runes in the last episode being like gas prices. You're like, whoa, 400 GP, slow down. I was like, 400 GP, let's go, because I had just finished getting 90 rune crafting. And so I had a stack of blood runes. Now, I was dumb looking back because I wanted to have a screenshot of my entire blood rune stack with my entire soul rune stack and 99 rune crafting. So I held on to all of my blood runes for far too long, and I missed that hike, and they had started crashing by the time I got 99 rune crafting. Because I think what happened then? TOA came out or something? Something happened to where
You were maxed by the time TOA.
was I? Okay. Something happened to where blood runes started to crash, and they were crashing hard. They were no longer like
because there was
430.
when did you
each.
get? When did you? So around that time would have been what 2020. Would have been late 2021.
Yeah.
I think we were in a time period where like nothing was happening around that time. Or like the release cadence was just like dog ass bad.
Mhm.
The only thing it was like you used it for magic, you used it for the scythe, and you used it for the sang staff. And I think it was around that time where like the Tebow dipped below a bill. Right. Back in like the dark ages of the early 2020s
times.
for RuneScape. Yeah, we don't talk about that time. Back in the Tebow was like 750 mil, dude. Which if you're listening, you're thinking like, oh my god, dude, 750 mil, that is so much. The Tebow has regularly been double that price since release. And it dipped. It would
dipped hard.
It would be if randomly out of nowhere, whips became like 200K.
Yeah.
Just for like no good reason. Everyone was like, what the f-? It was a really weird time. So I think you got it around then. I just don't think there was anything happening. Like Nightmare was trash. So nobody was like taking a scythe to Nightmare. The only place you utilized a scythe ever that made any money was TOB. But Avernix were in the bin. Justy was in the bin. You know, the scythe was okay. The rapier was okay. The sang was okay. But like, you know, it ain't like it is now.
Something happened to where a lot more blood runes came into the game than people were using them. And so maybe at that time, like a bot farm.
Was it Nex?
Maybe it was Nex.
Were you maxed when Nex came out?
Was that was
early 22. Were you maxed when Nex came out?
I had finished runecrafting by the time Nex came out. So maybe it was like Blood Essence was a thing and Nex was dropping blood runes.
With Nex.
Yeah.
I don't remember, dude.
Maybe it was Nex.
Blood Essence and TOA. I mean, but Michael had it done before TOA. The caches, the caches definitely did some damage. But again, I think you had runecrafting done by 21. I don't know, man. We're talking in circles. It's an A tier.
A tier.
An A tier skilling pack.
All that to say.
A tier skilling pack. Yeah.
So you said that
truly.
ZMI would surprise us. Is this also going to be higher than what we think?
Well, what do you have it put out?
Oh, you're okay. You're relying on me. ZMI to me is not my favorite, but I know that things have changed. The Colossal Pouch, partnered with Dale Essence at ZMI, I'm pretty sure you can get over 100,000 XP per hour. Whereas before, it was like, okay, you're going to get about as much as you can doing like solo lavas. Or no, like solo lavas were a lot more. So ZMI, whenever I was doing runecrafting, wasn't that great. It is great now.
Frankly, I don't even know how much has changed with the Colossal Pouch. Because I did it back in the day. I think I did it early 21. Shit, would it have been that early in 21? God damn, it might have been. I was going for 70 or 77, whatever it was. And XP was pretty solid. It was like 50, 60K in like the 60s. Which is pretty good for runecrafting. I think it only gets better the higher runecrafting level you get. Because I couldn't even use the big pouch. Like I used I couldn't use like it's not the Colossal Pouch because that wasn't out yet.
Large.
It's the fourth tier of the larger, whatever it is.
Yeah.
It's the fourth tier of rune pouch. It's gonna drive me crazy. The giant pouch is what it's called. I couldn't use that one. So I was like, this really isn't that bad. Like,
yeah, once you hit 75, for the giant, it gets good.
This really wasn't too bad prior. The beauty of ZMI is that it's like one click. With the GPU plugin, you either can follow somebody there or you can like one click straight to the altar. And as long as you're not like a level 3 skilling pure, it's not like you take a bunch of damage from the monsters.
Yeah, you're not
you're a
die.
max combat main account. Like even if you're not a max combat, you could be like a base 80 main account, base 70s main account. You're not gonna like get clobbered by the things attacking, right? You don't need to like pray overheads or anything like that. And once you get set up, I think that's the toughest part. It's like once you got to decide a rune that you pay the guy to bank, right? You have to get a good inventory layout. and then you got to get in kind of a groove when you bank. But it's not so much of a groove like solo lavas or runners or anything like that, where if you mess it up, your XP's in the bin, right? You can even take it a little bit slower. You can chill out with this one. It would also put CMI in the A tier.
I can't argue with that. Yeah, and like
day out, ooh baby,
day out.
Chef's kiss with the day.
Cool
out,
thing about CMI is like you can get blood runes, you can get soul runes, you can get astral runes. Like you can make all of the runes that you normally wouldn't be able to make all at once, and so you do make a bit of money at the end of the day with the spread of runes that you can make. So and it only gets better every time you get a new pouch because you're obviously you're taking more runes. 85 is the absolute best with the colossal pouch, but you need to do a lot of Guardians of the Rift before that. So you kind of have to suffer a bit finding the pearls to get the outfit, and then also like the needle. I don't know. I have a love-hate relationship with Guardians of the Rift because I think as far as like early game rune crafting, it's amazing, but the stuff is just too rare. Like to go like I don't know how many hours it is, but it feels like it's way too many to get the full rune crafting outfit. Insane. Skilling outfits should not be that rare. It's bad. So A tier is fine. A tier is good. We should get moving on some of these. So do you want to rapid fire a couple of these?
Trying to rapid fire? You
Just
got
a couple.
Places to be? Yeah, places to be?
We are an hour and a half into this episode.
Whose fault is that?
Your computer's.
The page.
No, dude, it's not even an hour and a half into sitting in my chair. It's an hour and a half recording.
I recognize that, dog. I've been here right alongside you. I mean, look, we got the 3 worst skills out of the way, I think, entirely. So shifting into like other skills that are like, we're just gonna get like from bad to like marginally bad, right? I put minnows on there, and I got some flack for that last night because minnows are not AFK. How do you feel about that?
I would agree. I've never done it, but I've seen people do it, and that spot moves way too much for this to be like a low intensity thing. In terms of like, if you want to have sharks, you're gonna get sharks. Sharks will be had. But the XP per hour, I don't think the XP per hour is that great. It's more so for the money.
I was gonna say you don't do it for the XP.
No, you don't do it for the XP. So like this could be a cool money making method. I guess if you want to have a thing you do on the side, but I don't even think you could play another account and still keep this up to the point where
I think you could. I think you could. You're gonna be like kind of busy, right? Because you're clicking not like super regularly, but like regularly enough, you know? But I think like I put this in like B or C, maybe. Like,
C is good.
Content with
C tier drop. Yeah, let's put it right.
Just because like it makes you money, and it's not. It's really not that bad to do.
I wonder. I can't check, but does the wiki have like the expected XP per hour for this?
I couldn't tell you.
Okay.
I would imagine it does, but it's not great. It's probably like amethyst level XP per hour, if even that. It could be less. Because again, it's not about the money, Spider-Man. It actually is about the money. It's not about
all about the money.
It's only about the money, and with this particular skilling method.
Okay, cool.
Kabam Bam.
Kabam Bam.
I got my second rune square shield from Dragon from Chaos Elemental. I'm gonna scream. Kabam Bam. How do you feel about Kabam Bams?
Kabam Bams, I think are semi decent. I wouldn't put them in the A tier, and I certainly wouldn't put them next to minnows. So that leaves us with the B tier.
You have such a way with words.
Oh man. You know what? I should start a podcast.
So articulate, dude. I'd be fine with that. I mean, I've done them on the iron. They're not terrible. They're quick, but not like too quick. And I guess with the fish barrel, you're like big chilling.
Mad chilling with the fish barrel.
Yeah, I don't have a fish barrel in the groupie, but I've also never really done these on the main. I think the only time prior to doing them on the iron, like relatively recently on the GIM, the only time I ever really did Karam wands was in leagues where everything just got like auto banked.
Oh, nice.
So for me, it was like, it's either
Never
that
had
or
to
I
move.
had banker's note. It's like I never like. I just sat there. I remember during, I think it was Leagues 3. I was at my internship, and I stayed there for so long I forgot that I was getting 99 fishing at League. And I just like stayed well past 99 fishing in the third league because I was auto banking everything. And just getting hella crom bonds because that was like your main source of food back then. So I mean, yeah, I got no gripe against crom bonds. B tier seems fine.
They're slow. It's really slow. So like if you wanna chill out, it's really slow.
I don't think it's that slow. It's slow in terms of what? Slow in terms of gathering
the
materials.
materials, yeah. Because you have to fish all the karambwanji, and you use several karambwanji to catch one karambwan. So I did the math on my Iron Man, and I needed about 75,000 karambwans to get 99 cooking. If I just wanted to do straight, whatever it was, 70 to 99, only cooking karambwans, I need like 75,000. Probably more with the burn rate, but I also, did a little calculations, and it was like almost double the amount of karambwanji needed. So 150 to what is that? Like about 150,000 karambwanji. You have to fish all of the karambwanji yourself. You can't buy them. I'm pretty sure they're not tradable. And so in order to even start doing your AFK thing, you have to go and do this other thing. So it's like the day alt essence, but this one is actually required. You can't just like sit there with several thousand fishing bait that you bought off the GE. Like you have to have something else that you collect first. So if that wasn't a factor, and maybe you could just sit there and collect karambwans all day, it would be an A tier thing. But it's like it's slow. The XP hour is not great.
When you have 65 fishing, which is what you need to get karambwans, you get let me see here. You get 14 karambwanji per catch. And when you have 65 fishing, the chance of getting a shrimp is about 16-ish%. So you have a pretty good rate of getting karambwanji at 65. Yeah, you fish them pretty good. And then if you're going for the higher levels, if you're like, you know what, I'm gonna get something ridiculous, like 99 fishing through karambwans or something like that. At 95, you get 20 karambwanji per go, and you get them every like 3 to 5 ticks. So like the interval for catching karambwanji, I think gathering karambwanji is better than gathering day alt, just because of how long day alt takes to get like a good stack of them, But I understand where the like, damn, it is kind of a bitch. But like you can't just like machine gun these off of GE like you would for something else.
I think the fact that the spot never moves also like that raises this up a bit. If the spot moved, this would be an automatic like C tier. But I think it's strong. It's keeping itself strongly in the B tier by the fact that its chill is all get out. Like the spot never moves. Yeah. You don't stop fishing. You do sometimes, but like you click once or twice, and then you bank, and then you go back and you repeat. So as far as a work activity,
banking is relatively chill till like even on like my shitter GIM, you just go to Xanaris, bank, and go right back. But like on a main account, if you really wanted to get sweaty with it, you could crafting cape, bank, and then use your house teleport to get right back. To the spot.
Crafting cape. I think Tiki said earlier that he does the gem mine in Shiloh Village to bank, and then he goes back with the quest cape. So I think he wears the quest cape and the Karamja gloves, and then he has a full inventory. So you can try that. But yeah, you got to get creative when finding a banking spot. But if you have,
Xanaris is fine.
Xanaris is great. If you want to put it in the A tier, I won't argue, but I think it's a pretty strong B tier.
B tier is good. I think spot not moving, Pog, untradeable component, not Pog. B tier is fine.
There's one more fishing method on here, I think, and that is barbarian fishing. There's two more. There's two. But barb is the next one. This probably is. This is going to be a hot take. I think barb fishing is C tier. As far as low intensity goes, it's not like terribly low intensity. I think you have about 30 seconds to a minute before you catch a full inventory, and then you got to drop it, and then your spot's also moving. So, and I'm not like a huge barbarian fishing fan. I know that you have done a bit of barbarian fishing, but like if drift netting wasn't a thing, I think you would have done barb fishing the entire way to 99. Right?
How did you get 99 fishing?
I got it through barb fishing.
I was like, because I know you didn't 3-tick, and I know you didn't do a ton of temporos.
No, I did barb fishing. So like, I have the receipts. Like every skill I've gotten to 99, and I've done probably the most low intensity methods for all of them. So I didn't care for barb fishing. To me, like the token strength and agility XP was kind of nice. But as far as methods go, it was really boring. And what was the XP per hour? It's probably like maybe 60K.
It's like 60 to 70K. You can get it to be more if you want to sweat your balls off, but I never wanted to do that, so I never did. Because you can like take the fish barrel, bring a Xerix talisman, charge it with lizard man fangs, fill the inventory and the fish barrel, teleport to Xerix honor, bank your shit, and run back down to the fishing spot for faster XP than dropping and less moving.
Damn.
But it just seemed like something I did not feel interested in doing. So on the opposite end, I would not put this in the S tier, but as the paramount AFK fishing activity, this is A, dude. Like, yeah, it's not like giga AFK, you know, but I think in terms of RuneScape AFK, we said we don't mean like walk out of the room AFK, but like I can do client notes with this. And like even when you're in the upper 90s, like you're still fishing relatively quickly, right? So you have about 30 to 40 seconds before you get a full inventory. 30 to 40 seconds to look over to something else. Like I don't think you can play another game while doing barbarian fishing, right? But I think you absolutely could like focus on writing something if you have to do something for work, or like you could work while doing this skill very well. And I think that's what I appreciate about it. Just like look over, drop 26 fish, look back to what you're doing, right? Or tap to drop 26 fish. You know, I think it's very simple. And
mobile does make this good.
Again, it's
drop.
like 60 to 70K an hour if you're paying attention. If you're not paying attention, you're probably going to get somewhere between like 40 to 55K an hour. But for an AFK skilling method, that's like a slow skill. It's a slow skill, you know? So I would put it in the A tier. I don't know if you get 70K an hour.
I don't think it's 70.
Exaggeration. But even so, 50 to 60, 65 at very best. Like, that ain't too bad, dog. That's really not too bad.
Yeah. I can't argue with your points. Like, as far as fishing methods go that are decently balanced as far as XP per hour, it's not the worst. You only have 2 spots. You can do it at the grotto or you can do it at Chambers. So
if you do it at the grotto, you're a bot. You do it at Chambers Bank, you're a real man.
South of Chambers Bank is probably the better
South
spot.
Of Chambers is the great spot.
There's 4 spots to do it, and you don't have to go very far for any of them. The grotto, you'd have to like load a new chunk to get to some of those
you
spots.
gotta go down. You gotta go downtown for some of them spots.
Yeah. So definitely do it at
I'm
Chambers.
not a grotto fisherman. I never really have been. You know?
It is nice for change of scenery sometimes. They're both decently easy to get to. If you have fairy rings unlocked, you can go to the fairy ring, or you can go to the Chambers Bank. And if you have a games necklace, you can just go to the Barbarian Outpost and run south. So A tier is fine. I think it could be right next to Karambwans, but I can't. Like, it's hard for me to argue with you when you get hyped about a skilling method. So,
I mean, I'm not. Trust me, I'm not. I don't like. Oh, I fucking love barbarian fishing. I'm not like hype about it. But I think like as a relatively consistent AFK method that offers decent XP with decent AFK time, It's not the best, but it's certainly not the worst. I think as far as like you're chilling, absolutely. Like barbarian fishing was one of my cornerstone podcast skills for a long time, even before the max and grind started. You know, barbarian fishing. I don't know,
because
it's very solid.
You need something crazy. I think it's like 91 fishing 91 for the diary. Ugh.
With a boost, you need 91.
Is it 90 or 91? Because it's plus
91.
Is it 96?
You need 96 to barehand the shark in Bergderot.
How did that get looked over in the rebalance? My goodness.
It's an elite diary task, dog. I don't think it needs to be rebalanced.
96 without a boost?
But they know you're going to boost.
So then just make it 91. But who knows?
Whatever.
I don't know. Because there are people out there who are like, I will not boost for anything. So like, suffer, I guess.
I was just say that is your own fault. No?
Sacred and Infernal Eels are up next as far as the next fishing method, the final fishing method that we have. Have you done either of these? Sacred or Infernal? Both of which they're very slow. Both are slow. They're not great XP per hour. And really, they're there just to make you money. At the end of the day, you're not doing it for the XP, which I guess, okay, it's about the same as Amethyst. Okay. If we want to give this a parallel, this is the Amethyst mining of fishing because it's slow, but it's over time. If you were to go from like whatever level you can, I think it's 86 to catch. Let me look. Eels with the rod. Sacred eels are 87. So if you were going to 87 to 99 fishing, it would take you months. But the amount of Zoro skills that you would have at the end of the day, probably a good chunk of change. If you were going to 87 to 99, I can't even begin to imagine how many. Probably hundreds of thousands of Zoro skills. I dare to venture even to say you could get 1 million Zoro skills. 87 to 99. So
it's a lot.
The amount of Zoro skills that you walk away with if you're doing sacred eels. Now, infernal eels only require 80 fishing, if I'm looking at this correctly. Yeah, 80 fishing. And for those, you would get onyx bolt tips. Now, as a normal account, selling those on the GE gets you the same amount of money as if you were to AWK them. If you as a normal account, they're like 8K or something on the GE. But as an Iron Man, you have to attach them to a bolt, and then you can AWK it for what you get on the GE. So, as a normal account, these are pretty bank. I've not done infernal eels. I have done sacred eels, and both methods I think are about the same. So, low intensity makes you money. Put them in the B tier.
Fine with me. It's a fine spot for me because this is a good. If you have like an alt that you're like, oh, I want to make money somehow. Sacred and Infernal Eels are great ways.
Yeah, they don't.
Sacred and Infernal Eels.
They don't take a lot of effort.
Play.
Very, very low effort.
They're pretty good. Pretty good, low effort. Just bring a knife with you. You never have to bank. It's real chill. Real nice.
If I could play 2 accounts at once for the majority of my life, I think I would just like camp my main at low intensity skilling money makers like Amethyst or Sacred Eels, but I generally can't play more than 1 account at a time. Just with it's hard for me, but I kind of wish I could because I could be making a bunch of money on the side.
Mm-hmm.
But Doxy, do I care about money? I don't. I don't care about money.
Damn Iron Man.
We have a couple smithing methods. Do you want to go with smithing next?
Sure, because I don't understand
the difference.
It's not that I don't understand that. Like, okay, you're smithing a different product, but like, I suggested cannonballs and atom plate box, and then Michael and the patrons said, "Oh, what about dart crafting?" I'm like, "So plate bodies?" And they said, "No, it's different. totally different. So
It's very different.
I encourage you to enlighten.
So I did both of
difference.
these. I did both of these. So I did a ton of darts and I did also a ton of Addy plates. That's how I got 99 smithing. This was before Giant's Foundry, and I was not about the blast furnace, the blast furnace life, because a majority of the time that I was training for my maxing journey, I was on my iPad. Very, very little of what I did as far as skilling was concerned was done on the computer. A majority of it was done on my iPad. So for me, just set yourself up at Prif Bank and you click the anvil and you click the bank and you rinse and repeat. So I've never crafted a single cannonball. I don't think I've ever done a single cannonball on any account that I've ever had. So I know the method is like it's slow. So, because like what, you can AFK for like 3 minutes at a time or something while you're making cannonballs, because it just takes that long. So cannonballs, I don't know, but Addy plates and dart tips. The main difference is how often you run to the bank to get more bars. Addy plates are going to be more click intensive and more AFK. Or sorry, Addy plates are going to be more click intensive and less AFK, but more XP. I don't remember the exact XP per hour, but I think it was at least over 100k when you're doing Addy plates. Dart tips, on the other hand, are going to be way more AFK. I think they're going to cost less because the break-even point, like the amount of dart tips that you make in reference to how much the bar is going to be closer, so you lose less money, but it's so much more AFK. 2 reasons. Number 1, it takes longer to smith all the darts, and you can just keep the darts stacked up in your inventory. So you don't have to like take the time to bank everything, get everything back out. You literally just go to the bank, grab the ore or grab the bars, and then you go back to the anvil. That would be those are the main differences, and I think why they're separated on the list. Because for me, while you get more XP per hour, I prefer darts over Addy plates as far as a method of skilling goes. So I would rank them differently. That's why I put them on here as separate things.
Well, what's the difference in XP per hour?
I think with darts, rune darts, it was probably like 40 to 50k per hour. So about half. But you could AFK for a long time with darts, because it was like 2 or 3 ticks per bar. In a whole inventory, it'd probably take you a minute, over a minute, versus you make 5 Addy plates and you're rebanking. You make 5 more plates and then you bank. 5 plates, bank. You haven't done smithing yet, so you still could experience all of this. But you said you're going to do probably Giant's Foundry and Blast Furnace.
Probably, because again, speech, but like speech. But they don't give an XP per hour for dart creation, which is annoying. They give XP or GP per XP.
What's the GP per XP?
Rune darts are dog shit GP per XP. They're 60 GP per XP.
You pay that or you make that?
The profit per material is negative 4,500 GP. Yeah, so you lose 60 GP per XP with rune darts. It is 0.56 GP per XP per amethyst. Or not amethyst, adamant. But like, I don't know. I wish there was a way to calculate that out. And then search adamant plate body, and there's no like. Again, like I wish it showed. I'm gonna just go to smithing. Smithing, pay to play, smithing training.
When I did darts, it was a little bit different time because this was pre blowpipe rework. And so adamant darts were still pretty used. They were still heavily used around Gillinor. And rune darts were the best because I don't think amethyst was all that popular. And so you had, if you wanted the best dart that wasn't going to cost you a ton of money, it was rune darts. And so
Okay.
it wasn't that much loss whenever I was doing rune darts.
Okay. I figured it out. Here. Let's see. For anvil smithing methods, the closest to a bank is in Thrifton. The experience rate for anvil smithing depends on the type of metal being smithed and the number of bars being smithed per item. So 5 bar adamant items. Addy plate bodies are about 260k XP an hour.
Wow.
Right? Adamant darts are about 80k XP an hour. With the Smith's uniform. Without the Smith's uniform, it is 66k XP per hour with a staggering 3.7k or 37k profit per hour. Rune darts are fucking stupid. Without the outfit, it costs 4.7 mil an hour to do rune darts. With the outfit, it costs 5.8 mil an hour for a max XP with darts of 97.5k.
Times have changed.
Sorry, you can call me a boomer. You can call me an elitist. This shit ain't it. To give that much input on a skilling method for that kind of skilling XP, how AFK do you need to be? Like at some point, surely just running back and forth to a bank ain't that bad, you guys.
So if we're gonna,
I would absolutely put plate bodies over darts. Just looking at those stats alone, dog.
If we're going to, gonna allow you to have an absolutely dog shit MLM take because you did it before they changed it, I think this is gonna be a retroactive take. Yes, rune darts are expensive, but they weren't expensive when I did it. And so for me, like the amount of time that you spent running back and forth from a bank compared to the XP per hour, how much is it without the outfit for Addy plates?
7. It doesn't change with the outfit. Note that this does not factor in the Smith uniform, with which experience rates increase about 15 to 25% depending on what is being smithed. So without the Smith's uniform,
it's
Addy plates are 260k an hour. Without the uniform, when you did it, dart tips, it was 79.5k an hour for rune dart tips.
Huh.
Times have changed.
But
have.
How much do you lose? Okay, this is the last question, and then we'll make our decision. Do you lose money when you're doing Addy plates? Does it have the profit or loss per hour?
It does not have the profit or loss per hour, but let's check the tools. Let's see. Cannonball, Blast Furnace, Arty Knight, Tithe Farm, Blast Mine, Tockle, Seaweed, Gear, Randomizer. That's weird. Why is there no smithing calculator? But I guess we'll just call it what it is, right? Adamant bars. We'll just look it up. OSRS, Addy bar. Addy bars. Adamant bars cost $18.75.
And you need 5 of them.
$18.75 times 5. That's $9,300. Craft that into adamant plate body, which sells for $95.45.
So it's profit.
So it's profit.
Currently
it's
profitable.
Okay profit. It's, it's probably going to stay at that profit for a while because the ALK value is $99.84. So it's consistent profit. It's not going to be like earth-shattering best money per hour profit. Ain't too bad.
I'm glad we're doing this now because you haven't done smithing yet, and 260k, that's quite decent when in terms of smithing.
It's AFK enough for your boy.
And it's AFK
enough. I plan to do Giant's Foundry and Blast Furnace, but if I have to do this shit at work, plate bodies are AFK enough for your boy.
Yeah.
If you really, because you're mad about my MLM take, which again, objectively correct, but fine. If you're mad about my MLM take and I did it when it was different, fucking whatever.
Okay, here's how it's gonna shake out.
I want you to know, listeners out there, holy shit, you gotta need some serious AFK time. Serious AFK.
Here's how it's gonna shake out.
To consider it worth it.
Darts are A tier, plates are B tier.
Wow, that is so wildly out of pocket.
But it's not
dude.
rune darts specifically. It's addy darts. This is darts as a whole. The method of smithing a dart, for it to be, what was you said, like 80K, 50, 60K for adamant darts, and you profit a tiny bit, like it's break even essentially. In terms of AFK, if you can get over 50K an hour and not have to look at your screen for over an entire minute, that's decent. That's like, you could play Minecraft, you can play Elden Ring, you can write your notes, as you would say. You can do that at work and still get a respectable amount of XP done, and you don't have to spend any money doing it if you're a main account.
Here's how I feel about AFK skilling methods. I'll break it down for you, my mindset.
Break it down.
If you're getting 60K an hour for a slow skill, fishing, rune crafting, wood cutting, mining, agility, it's fair, right? 60K an hour, respectable. When the fastest possible XP in the game, without runners is going to 99, 380K XP an hour of smithing. Goldsmith gauntlets without runners and no smithing cape, 380K an hour.
You can do runners for smithing?
You can do runners for, I'm not fucking kidding you, 680K smithing XP an hour.
I did not know that was a thing.
Yeah. I'm not going to do that because I don't want to pay for it. It's because apparently on the wiki says the profit rates assume paying 7 mil per hour per runner, as well as the cost of the gold ore. It is 33 GP per XP to get 680K.
Oh, you pay runners
XP
at Blast Furnace.
Yeah, so you're paying a shit ton of money to do that.
Holy smokes.
I will say, I don't know how that method works. He's got to collect your bars and shit. I don't know. If you're out here telling me that compared, because like, again, the way I see it, right? Howled Sepulcher at Giga Max efficiency is like 100K. If that, it's probably a little bit less, where it realistically sits between 70 and 85K an hour for the average player running through floor 5 Sepulcher, right? You can get to the high end, but you're probably going to sit between 75, 90, I would bet. That's fair for my Sepulcher fans out there. So cracking off 45 to 50K an hour at Artie, all right. That's fair enough. It's comparable. It's AFK-ish, you know. When the fastest mining XP in the game is a tick manipulation, so a non-tick manipulation thing that you can do by yourself, the fastest in the game is probably about 50 or 60K. So you get 20K an hour doing stars? All right. That's a third of it. This is so slow compared to what peak efficiency could be. And even not peak. If you get 250K smithing XP an hour because you fumble a little bit like my Mumpty ass does the Blast Furnace, I'm sorry, dude. 66K an hour it ain't it for me. If you really want to keep it in A tier, fine, just because I fought you so fervently about MLM. But in my personal tier list, there ain't no fucking way darts make it to the A tier. But if this is one you want to have, I'll let you have it. That's okay with me.
We'll take it. It's a win. I mean, I don't think they deserve the same tier, and I think darts are going to be better in my book from my remembering my experience of doing smithing. Because for me, like, I would 9 times out of 10, I would sacrifice better XP per hour if it was going to be less intense. I would rather get 60K an hour and have it take several more hours than sweat my balls off and get it done quickly. It's kind of like it took me 6,000 hours to max my account, twice as long as it probably should have. So that's kind of how I play.
We never put cannonballs on this list. Where do cannonballs sit? They're like cannonballs are like the youngest child that's just like sitting in the back, not really paying attention.
You forgot it when you went into Walmart, or like, Forgot them in the car seat.
Exactly.
For, I don't know, C tier. Like, are cannonballs that expensive anymore to where you're going to be making the money to make it worth it? Sure, like if you're an Iron Man, you need to smith cannonballs, but it's not like I don't think the XP per hour is that great as far as this being a viable method to train smithing. And then with cannonballs being so cheap, you're not going to do this to like use them.
I think this is. I'm surprised you didn't jump on this more. I'm surprised you didn't jump on this more from your stinky gray helm perspective. This is like an absolutely necessary training method for Iron Men. And
necessary?
I think because
what like you can train Slayer without cannonballs. It's just going to be slower. You can do Slayer without cannonballs. I do it. I've got 87 Slayer, and I can count on one hand the amount of times I've used cannonballs. I know that you can't fathom that, and I think if you played a Grey Helm
for the end game Iron Men who are cringing out there, I sympathize with you. For the first time, I sympathize with the Grey Helm. This is an essential training method for Iron Man. Absolutely 100% is training Slayer, right? Because of that, I think they made smithing cannonballs perfect. Acquiring steel bars, and buy the materials, you can smith them yourself. You get a shit ton from Zalcano. I'm not super well versed on all the ways Iron Men get their steel bars, I will admit. But I am decently well versed in training it. I've had to do this in leagues quite a few times. Without the insta completion from the relics, you're big chill. It's like a whole 90 seconds off. Like this is like dart tips who. This is truly time away with smithing training. I don't think the XP per hour is great. Smithing cannonballs comes out to, with the regular ammo mold, a staggering 13k an hour. With a profit of 229k an hour. You do yourself a little bit of Giants Foundry, you bump that up to 27.6k with 458k profit per hour.
That's decent.
So if you're trying to, I guess if you're trying to make like a little bit of money, like sure, you know.
But so this you said it's essential, and the reason I disagree, and I think that even endgame Iron Men will disagree, it goes back to the day alt essence problem. Yes, you will get better XP per hour doing rune crafting, but the time that you spent collecting the day alt was time that you could have just spent doing rune crafting. It's the same thing for Iron Men when it comes to cannonballs and Slayer. You're going to spend time at Zalcano getting the bars, and then you're going to spend time making all the cannonballs. If you spent 50 hours making 100,000 cannonballs to speed up your Slayer by 10 hours, you're still in the negative. Those are just numbers. That's not an exact science, but it comes down to, you can't just go to the GE and chuck, a couple mil, get your cannonballs, and go do your task to speed it up. It's a sunken, not a sunk cost fallacy. It's a negative time spent for not a positive time gain. If you're going to spend time making the cannonballs, getting the steel bars, you might as well just be doing Slayer, because you can still do Slayer. You still do Slayer.
I understand you can do it. I just think there are several opportunities in which cannonballs make the process that much better that they are worth having. I mean, I don't play Iron Man for good reason, right? I just buy 10,000 cannonballs at a time and just go till they get knocked out. But I know there's ways to get cannonballs through PVM. I don't think calling this an essential method for Iron Man is also totally out of pocket, right? I think I would put this in B tier just because it is AFK. It's not great XP per hour, but it's AFK, and it provides a material that either makes you money as a main account or is useful on an Iron.
True. True. I would say the only reason that you would make cannonballs specifically on an Iron Man is if you're going for Champion's Cape. That's the only reason I would say you need cannonballs, because it's going to take you that much longer at the end of the day to kill like 10,000 lesser demons. When you could
reference this episode when you get to the point where you're playing bingo on your group Iron Man. Where reference this episode when you start tutorial skipping on your group Iron. Reference this episode when you're looking for points or something. That's kind of where I'm at with it. Cannonballs are a necessity. You don't do anything that requires the need. It's fine. I think that opinion will change the further you get in.
I'm happy to be wrong, because I think that like making cannonballs is not that hard. But I'm looking forward to the things that I would be using a cannon for on a main account. Yes, you use a cannon for absolutely everything, because it is going to speed up Slayer, and the time that you save doing Slayer, you can absolutely make that money back. But on an Iron Man, I don't think it's worth it. Even in the end game, besides the champion scroll, the champion scroll grind, you're going to need hundreds of thousands of cannonballs. That's the last smithing one. I honestly think we need to rapid fire like at least half of this list. There are some obviously S tier.
What's the goated one that I'm looking at? I'm looking at an absolutely unquestionable. There it is, baby. You hovered right over
Bing
it.
bong.
The unquestionably goated skilling method. Arguably my favorite skilling method in the whole.
He loves it. He loves it.
I love
it. If you could marry Redwood logs, you would.
It is the absolute antithesis of Motherload. I love Redwoods so much for a skilling training method. Oh, it is just like everything about it, man. It's wonderfully AFK. The timer, I think the logs are on timers, are on like 5-minute timers. So you just cut until you're good to go. You bring an Infernal Axe in that bitch. You don't even have to worry about getting the logs all the time. But you want goated XP per hour, drop the ducats on a crystal 2-handed axe, right? Buy about 15,000 Forester's ration. And you could get, literally, dude, I was playing Stardew Valley, not even looking at my screen, getting 88k an hour.
That's bonkers.
The other day when we were recording and I was paying full attention, quote unquote, full attention to Redwoods, 96k an hour for doing jack shit.
Holy smokes, dude.
This is the best skilling method in the game. Can't change my mind. Full stop. S tier on my channel.
Agreed.
I love Redwood.
Redwoods are great. You do need 90, so you're gonna suffer just a little bit getting to it. But like it's like climbing up that hill is the hardest thing. It is the absolute hardest thing, getting to the top of that mountain. But once you're there, it's downhill the entire way in a good way. Like getting to 99 wood cutting, it's a bit of a slog. But once you get 90 and you can go to Redwoods, you don't even have to think about training wood cutting anymore. So I would agree, hard agree. It's one of the very few S tier methods that I think we have on this list. And like the funny part about it is like looking at the two S tier things on this list.
It's when you're not playing
the game. Like we want to play RuneScape so much that we don't want to play the game. But they're just like they make training the skills. It's obviously two different tiers. I think of like XP and activity, but it makes training two very slow skills just even better, because like it can't be slow and you have to pay attention, because then that just feels bad.
That's when you get Motherload Mine and Rooftop Labs.
Yeah,
I think honestly, the next S tier method in the game, it might shock you. I need you to hear me out. I need you to de-iron yourself for a minute, and I need you to hear me out.
Logged in on the main.
Bank standing skills are S tier. And we have the bank icon because there's a lot of bank standing skills. There's making potion. There is, fletching bows. I think the only bank standing skill that I've done that wasn't ball sweatingly or that was really ball sweatingly difficult was darts, and that was self-imposed. But like
Hmm.
battle stabs, dragon hide bodies, everything that you can bank stand for. Oh, baby. Maybe it's just because I'm biased and that I have done sweaty methods for slow skills for several months at this point. But man, dude,
Bank
bank
standing is pretty
standing
good.
is good stuff.
It's pretty good. I would have to
it's
agree.
good stuff. I would put bank standing in the S tier, which again it just plays into the like our favorite way to play the game is just to not
Play the
it,
game.
You know? But bank standing skills, dude, there's something special about a good bank standing skill because you get stupid XP per hour too.
There's some good ones.
Like battle stabs are really good XP per hour. You know, overhead's ridiculous, but it is not as expensive as you think. I think to get from like what was I 91 to 99, it was like 25 or 30 mil
overhead.
Like, it really wasn't that much.
Not the overhead, but the cost, the overall cost.
The overhead
was like
was
a bill.
like 600 mil.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fucking money. But you buy it incrementally, level by level, and it's really chill. I got mad respect for bank standing skills. I got a couple of them left. I got Herb Lore as my last real bank standing skill, and
Ooh,
I'm gonna
Herb Lore's good.
savor every moment of it. You know,
I would say if you want to savor it, then you do a level of Herb Lore, then you go do a level of something else, and then you do like 2 more levels of something else, and then you come back and do a level of Herb Lore. Like don't just like head down, get her done. Savor it. Really, really spread it out. Bank standing is one of the few things in this game that I can get in a true rhythm and just like get like in the zone. Construction was one of those for me. Like I would just like lock in, get the XP done. But as far as like methods, bank standing, because like screen markers make bank standing skills completely mindless. And if you know you're going to be like clicking on the same spot every single time, you can have a screen marker, and then if you route or like you can enable the escape key to close menus, then you don't even have to move your mouse to close your bank interface. So if you just, for me, I have a button on my mouse that I've remapped to be the escape key. So like if my bank is open, my left hand is free, I just click the button on my mouse and it closes any interface. So you could do one-handed efficient skilling in pretty good XP per hour. Now, most of the bank standing skills are not going to make you money. That's just kind of how it is. If it's easy to do and it's very repeatable, there's very few things in the game that are going to make you profit. You can clean herbs, I guess, for profit. Sometimes making unfinished potions is going to make you profit.
Please don't. That you don't get any XP for that.
You don't get XP for making unfinished potions, but it can be good profit if you're willing to put in the time. Cleaning herbs can make you a tiny bit of XP, but they can make you good profit if you find the right herb. So that's not on the list here, but that's just a little free one. What can be a bank standing skill kind of is line fires. I know you love line fires.
Listen, I've been known to make a line fire or two in my I'm a fan of line fires. I will admit, I am something of a fan of line fires myself.
Because the alternative is what? Rune crafting? Or sorry, Wintertod? Wintertod.
Dinkleberg. Like it's just
your nemesis, dude. If you had a nemesis in this
truly
game,
my nemesis,
it would be Wintertod.
Wintertod and Try the Tramp, just for unjustifiably. Like it's always been about love and hate. Let me say I'm the biggest hater. I hate the way that you walk. I hate the way that you talk.
Is that a Taylor Swift line?
Dress. Hate the way that you sneak diss, catch fight. It's gonna be direct. Oh my god. Hate the Brumas you fletch because they confuse themselves with real logs. God damn, I hate Wintertod so much. I'm
Line
more laughing
fires.
at how Michael thought that was a Taylor Swift. But in any case, I put line fires in the A tier. So the tactic for line fires to make them real good. It's not okay. It falls into the. It's a low intensity, but it's a fair amount of click. It is. You can do this on your phone. Technically, it's going to be a little bit less efficient, but like that's fine. You are going to go to the standard spellbook, set your Varrock teleport to teleport you to the middle of Varrock, not the Grand Exchange. You are going to teleport there with your tinderbox and 27 logs, and you are going to work your way from the middle of the fountain all the way down to the Varrock West Bank without moving, just clicking tinderbox and log. You're going to bank, grab a new inventory of logs. So it's actually 26 logs, right? It's not 27, it's 26. Is a rune pouch and the tinderbox. Bank, repeat. Oh my God. Regardless of what type of log you have, it is such a good tactic for fire making training. I love it. I really do.
The only reason I agreed to put this in the A tier is because I, as well as like bank standing, construction, I can like lock in on the sweaty fire making GE tactic.
Michael training fire making is gross. Michael
gets me excited. Like it's
a very
weird.
It's a very strange dichotomy.
It's weird.
Like, I don't know, man. Switching overheads is tough, but you want to know what's not? Fucking one tick fire making. I'm like, you gotta relax, man.
Like you walk forward to go back, and then you walk forward to go back, and then you go to another line and you just fire making. And you walk forward. It's like when you look at it, you're like, you should not be getting 600,000 to 700,000 fire making XP per hour, but you are.
You're not.
Okay, fine. I may exaggerate. It's like
straight up. You're getting like 320, 350
no,
with Redwood.
It's 5 to 600
700K an hour.
If you have the full pyromancer,
with your ball sweating method.
Yeah, no.
I thought you meant line fire.
No, ball sweating.
Not getting 600K an hour.
Ball sweating is 5 to 600K, and I may just be remembering it with like rose tinted glasses or whatever that saying is, where like you look back with fondness, but man. And you can like, it's weird because you can do combo training. I think you can like have half an inventory of Karambwans and half an inventory of logs. And every time you make a fire, you can cook a Karambwan on that fire that you just made. And you can get like combo fire making and cooking XP doing this method.
Which is so funny to me because we straight up referenced at the beginning of the episode
that we're not going to talk about
that specific method because it goes against what we are trying to do.
Yes, good my Lord, method is not low intensity. If you were to try and do like the G, you do it at the GE specifically, but if you were to do that method, it is the opposite of low intensity. It is the most intense fire making method that you can do. Oxie's talking about teleporting to one location. You don't have to move. You click on your log, you click on your ticker box until you get back to the bank and you teleport there. That is the most low intense fire making method that you can get. It's very easy. So yeah, A tier's fine. A tier's fine. We just talked about cooking. So do you want to do cooking next?
We could do cooking and then wood cutting.
Because cooking is a bank standing skill. Technically.
Kind of. Well, I didn't include wines because wines is a lot of pressure. If you're going for like a big XP drop. But I'm thinking like
Sharks at the Myth Guild? Oh my gosh.
Myth Guild cooking, dude? Myth Guild cooking is kind of
you don't have to move your camera with the Myth Guild.
Myth Guild is kind of cracked for cooking.
S tier.
Pretty good.
S tier because 1, you don't have to move your camera, and 2, you make pretty decent profit. Almost any fish that you cook, you're going to make profit.
But we have to consider like we didn't include this for Myth Guild. I think we should have put a Myth Cape if we meant Myth Guild cooking.
Like specifically,
if we encompass all cooking, right? Like the second best place to train is the Hasidius range. Right?
I would argue the second best place is going to be the Rogue's Den. Because also, that's also a place that you don't have to move. But, okay, I see what you're saying. with the
Because you
the
get
host cities,
it's a
you
better
get
chance
better
to
chance.
cook the
Yeah.
food. Yeah, better chance to successfully cook it pre-99.
But how many places with the cooking gauntlets? Like
I don't
at
think
what levels
cooking
do you
gauntlets
need?
work on the higher level fish is the thing. I'm not
Mm,
entirely sure on that. Don't quote me, but I just know I would bump it down to the A tier only because like traditional cooking isn't as low.
mm. It doesn't it doesn't wet your whistle.
Yeah. That's kind of where I'm sitting with it, you know.
Fair enough. Fair enough. A tier is fine. I like cooking. I think I have an abnormally skewed view of cooking just because I like it. I don't mind it. I was willing to go to 200 million cooking XP before I started playing on my group Iron Man. So to me, cooking is not bad, and it makes you pretty decent profit going to 99. It's how I made my first green cash deck. I got 99 cooking very early on, and I think I made like 14 mil going from like whatever it was to 99. 14 million GP profit. And in 2000, what is that? 2018, 2016, right around then, that was a lot of money for me. It's how I funded other buyables, and it's how I funded my account for a while. That 14 million GP lasted me a long time. All right, what are we doing next? I'm thinking sand crabs.
I was gonna say wood cutting,
Okay,
just because we
want to get
have like other wood cutting methods in here.
The skilling icons out of the way.
Yeah, we'll get all the like the skilling stuff out first before we get into combat. I would wager. This is like B or C for me. You know,
like normal trees. Are you
normal trees is definitely B or C.
Are we doing this in like under the umbrella of forestry, or is this just like normal trees?
Forestry is not chill at all, mate. Forestry is not at all chill.
The thing about forestry,
though, it can be.
If you don't do the events, having the other people at the tree that you're cutting is what makes wood cutting better, because they added that clause where like you get an invisible boost for every person that's at your tree. So you get better XP per hour the more people that are there. And generally, you're going to find the most people in a forestry world. So even if you don't do the events, just having people there. But I understand what you're saying. Forestry could be B tier. Or not forestry, but wood cutting, sorry. Wood cutting is B tier. AFK Slayer? Because that's what this one represents. This isn't just like Slayer as a whole or going for like a specific task. This is just AFK Slayer. I'm going to put this... Ooh. If it was just me doing this list, AFK Slayer would be in like the D tier. It is boring as hell. And it can make you money, right? But this isn't a money-making list. This is... You have to go kill 300... Or sorry, you have to go kill 120 water fiends. And you don't have any points because you used all your points to skip the other shit tasks that you got. But I don't know. AFK Slayer it doesn't rank very high on my list. The only reason I'm doing it is because I have to do it on an Iron Man. Otherwise, I think Slayer would probably be one of my lower skills.
You know, AFK Slayer sucks. I think there are some good AFK tasks, like Bloodvelds in the Mire Ditch Labs.
Yeah,
I think
decent.
If something will aggro you in the catacombs, it's like not the worst thing in the world. I would put this in the C tier, just because like some tasks are fine, you know.
But you have to get that
like
task.
Gargoyles.
Like you can't train Slayer, the skill, without getting that random, like the randomness of it. Like if you could just go kill like if Slayer was a kind of skill where if you could just kill gargoyles and get token Slayer XP over time, I think it would be a decent skill. Because like hit points, it's just kind of passive. But it's not. You have to specifically be given the task of killing this monster this many times and then you go get another task, and then you go get another task, and then you go get it. Like, there's not a lot of variety.
I understand the gameplay loop, but I think I'm putting it in C tier because not every AFK task is dog shit, though a lot of them aren't great. And the AFK tasks that are kind of like, can still make you money.
That's true.
I think it's a fair enough shout to put it in C tier just because, like, you know?
Oh, we forgot one more. There's one more, 2 more skilling? 2 more.
Yeah. That's why I said, you're like, Slayer. I'm like, okay, sure.
Slayer. 2 more skilling methods. Herbivore and...
A-tier. Easy A tier.
A tier?
Easy A tier.
Yeah, Herbivore's good.
Absolutely easy A tier.
I'm currently working towards 80 Hunter on the Iron. I'm 78, almost 79. And I'm excited. I'm really excited for when I can bust out Herbivore. Again, this may just be me remembering it fondly because I did Herbivore from 80 to 99 directly after I finished Agility. Like, I finished Agility that same day I was doing Herbivore, and going from like 50K an hour at the highest level that I could to getting like 120K for doing almost the same exact thing that I was doing with rooftops, it was heavenly. So I remember Herbivore very fondly.
It's quite good. Herbivore, it's AFKable enough where you can like look away, but you don't have to. You still are paying some attention, right? It's just not like good XP. I'm gonna kill her. I'm gonna kill this cat one day. I love her so much. No. She drives me insane.
What is she doing?
Anyways, she's just trying to like get behind my monitor and shit. I think the last skilling method we have on there is Arty Knights.
What do we call splashing though? Is that a combat?
It's you're training a combat skill.
I know where you're gonna put Arty Knights. You're gonna put Arty Knights in the F tier.
What level am I?
I don't know. 95
Seriously,
plus.
If I'm
it's not F tier.
If I'm 55, this is F tier for
55 to 95.
The higher you get, the higher on the tier list this skill gets.
That's true. So it's a variable.
Even when you get to like late 80s, 90s.
So does it sit at C tier just for the average? Because I would call this this is an S tier at 95 plus. You never fail. You never have to move. You can just like on my phone. I was holding my phone like this, like with my one thumb, and I was just tap, 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 tap in the same exact spot from 95 to 99. It was very, very chill. But like before that, you had to worry about the night moving and like, your health bar.
So it's 100% at 95 feet. 100% at 95 feet. Without the Ardoyan Dire, raw dog in these things at 55, it is a 61% chance. 61% success rate at a low level sucks.
Yeah.
It is real bad. And it feels real bad.
It's abnormally low. I think they really should look at that. I know that they buffed XP rates or like fail rates and stuff, but I don't think they touched knights. They just made everything else around knights better. But as far as a thieving method goes, you have a lot of options, so you don't really need to do knights until later.
But when you get to the higher levels, though, on being unable to fail, it's really good. It's really good when you're unable to fail. Yeah, I don't know.
Are we even going to have anything in the D tier? I'm just looking at the rest of the things that we have, and I feel
like we should have just like removed the D tier.
ABC.
I can think of one. Now that we are in the combat category, I can think of one that could possibly go as high as the D tier.
All right, what is it? Let's get it out of the way.
The other F tier skilling method for me is crabs. I hate so fervently.
F tier for crabs?
Crabs is the worst because it's not crabs.
Bro,
it's world hops.
Oh my gosh.
It is terrible.
I was going to put crabs in the S tier.
I would not put crabs in the S tier.
Oh my gosh, dude.
When it takes 20 minutes to find a world for crabs,
10 minutes. You don't have to look at you don't have to look at your screen for 10 minutes.
But the trade-off is there's nowhere to do it.
They've added so many crab spots with Varlamore. Oh my goodness. They've added like the entire southern coast of Varlamore. I think the entire southern coast is like crabs. Let me look. Varlamore, Isle of Souls. There is a long stretch of beach on the southern coast of Varlamore that has a Quetzal spot close to it that offers 3 and 4 spot for sand crabs. Now, if this was before Varlamore, it wouldn't be S tier because you're right. There are a lot of times where every spot that you want to go to is taken up. But you have Crab Claw, Isle. You have the southern coast of Zaya with Hosidius, and then now you have Varlamore. So,
but you also have to think of ammonite crabs and rock crabs and all the other places where crabs are. You're thinking strictly with sand crab. Every single fucking 3 and 4 crab spot is a fight to the death to get. It is world hop on world hop on world hop. It is cringe. I accidentally crashed a group Iron Man last because like I don't like being crashed, so I don't tend to crash unless people are absolutely being malignantly stupid, right? So I accidentally crashed this group Iron. His name was Benny B Hole or whatever it was. Which, okay, whatever. I ended up hopping after like 2 minutes because he came back. I'm like, whatever. I guess I'll play World Hop Simulator again. And I had to hop and hop. I think I went through 70 worlds at midnight on a Friday.
Damn.
To get a world.
I don't think it's F tier.
Friday to get 70 worlds at the Ammonite Crabs. And then I hopped to a world. 25 minutes later, guess who fucking crashes me while resetting X? That same shitter Iron Man. I was so close to pulling up in my sight. If I was not in a tile race, I would have made the next hour of crabs for that man the most miserable combat encounter of his life. Cannons, barrages. I'd have bonded up old accounts. I hate training on crabs. Hate it.
Okay.
But it's one of the, feels like anyways, most viable AFK combat methods in the game. And it is, I think it's World Hop Simulator. Is the activity bad? No, it's fine. Resetting aggro, is it bad? No, it's fine. But the fact that at any given moment, someone is going to rock up and take my shit because they can do more DPS or they brought their main account with them to ruin it, or they catch me in the 4 seconds I run away from the spot to reset aggro. Are you kidding me? It's just cannot stand training on crap.
Would you respectfully bow out and let me take this one? Because I think it has a lot of good merits in terms of training, but I think you've just had a bad experience. I think your experience is clouding your judgment.
Is my man out here trying to tell me that my one experience last night is gauging
100%?
What did I calculate?
You called it an F tier.
6,800 hours on one account.
You put it in the F tier, dog. It's the best AFK combat training in this game besides Nightmare Zone.
It's the best if you can find a fucking spot.
But I'm telling you right now,
no spots because
they've added so many.
The best one in the game.
They've added a lot.
Go drop what you're doing. Go right now.
Go where?
If you find an open, if you go to the sand crabs in Farlamore, if you can find an open 3 or 4 spot right now without hopping worlds, I'll put it in whatever fucking tier you want.
All right, I'm going right now.
Don't hop worlds. Go right now.
We're going. I am going. But for while I'm getting there, you can AFK for 10 minutes because that's how long the aggro timer is. And on RuneLight, you don't log out after 5 minutes. And so if you have the NPC aggression timer, you have when you teleport to a location, it gives you a box. And that box tells you the exact like lowest amount of tiles that you have to walk to reset aggro for a monster. So before that, you would run halfway across the world because you don't know how far you have to run. And then
It's outside of render distance.
there are certain times when resetting aggro is literally one tile away from where you are if you have the NPC aggression timer set up properly. So you don't always have to run outside of where you are. I'm in the savannah now, so I'm running south. So no, you don't always have to run super far. It can be one tile, it can be 5 tiles. It just depends on where you kind of reset aggro the last time. And then you reset aggro, and then you're 10 more minutes. Yes, there are a lot of people who just make it their life's work to crash you and make your life miserable. But it's a competitive training method for a reason, because it's probably one of the best ways, at least with lower levels. It's one of the best ways to train your. I'm finding 3 spots. I don't know if there are any 4 spots. Are there any 4 spots? It's one of the best ways to train your account at a lower level. There are so many 3 spots available. There's probably a 4
available.
Spot. I'm sure there's a way to get 4.
They're available, as in nobody's there training.
Yes, nobody's here training.
Send me a screenshot.
3 spots or 4 spots?
I don't care what it is.
Okay. I mean, you could probably on a main account.
So many available.
Here, I'll just stream. I'm going to stream. Share your screen, change windows. I'm walking up and down the coast. This is not going to go in the episode. It kind of sucks, but can you see my screen right now?
Yeah, I can. I don't see any 3 spots, dog.
There's one right there. Oh, I should have brought a stamina.
He's walking, mate. He's walking.
And they're messed up because I walked past them. This is one. So there's a bunch on the southern coast of Varlamore that not a lot of people know about, and they added them specifically because of sand crab problem in Zaya. There's not a lot of 3 spots. There's one right there. There's not a lot of 3 spots available in Zaya.
You showed me the same one. You walked out of render distance, walked back into it.
Because I thought it was this one.
It's the exact same one you showed me.
Like, it's that one, and this is one. I think there was one over here.
All right, well, you know what? I concede. You found an open spot. Congratulations. This will forever be one of my least favorite training methods in the entire game.
Oh, I brought my pick. So I don't think it deserves to still be in the F tier, though. In terms of like so if this was how long ago before Varlamore? Varlamore came out in March. I could probably look at you and agree, like, yeah, it's not great because you really have to fight to be able to get good optimal rates, and there's better ways to train your combats. You should just do it through Slayer, blah 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 blah. But I think that they've really done enough to make this method somewhat viable still. Yeah, ammonite crabs are a problem because everybody likes training at ammonite crabs. They're the best way to do it, but I think that you could get away with similar XP rates, even like at lower levels with sand crabs in Varlamore. And who knows, after this episode, after the 5,000 or 6,000 people that listen to this episode hear it, they're gonna go, wait, you can train crabs at Varlamore, and then it's packed. And then they tell their friends, and their friends tell their friends that we just started a whole thing.
In the recording booth chat, Seth said, I can't wait for aggro potions. Aggro potions could very well ruin this method forever. Because if all you have to do is rock up with a fucking aggro pot,
and you don't have to
rip
reset
all the crab aggro away from everybody. This is, God, I hate training crabs so much.
A tier.
Hate it.
The method is the method. Now, the roadblocks are not part of the method. The roadblocks can change. We're talking about the method. Like, you can sit there for 10 minutes. Okay, where are we compromising? Because you're looking at me like I'm crazy.
No, it's because of that statement. It's the roadblocks aren't a part of it. Huh? What do you mean the roadblocks aren't a part of the rating system? We literally just said for RD Knights, one of the roadblocks is the reason why it's rated in the C tier.
There's nothing you can
It's
do
because of the level progression.
But there's nothing you can do about that.
The roadblock of Slayer is the potential shitty task.
There's nothing you can do about that though. You can't add in the very.
There's nothing you can do about world hop.
No, you can't. What I'm saying, and I'm not trying to anger you. I'm literally just trying to make the point of the variability of it could be busy or it could not be busy is not the method. Does that make sense?
A tier it is then.
Does that make sense?
I understand what you are saying. I think you cannot. It's so hard to separate the two because the variability of how available it is, it's disgusting. But sure, A tier it is. I fucking hate training on crabs so much. I don't know why I so passionately hate them. But
I don't get it either, dude. I don't get it. Do you like
the hopping? It's the hopping and the crashing.
Do you hate any of the other methods here? Should we get them out of the way?
Not as much.
Oh, good.
I don't have as fervent of a dislike. Okay. I mean, I'm running into a roadblock with Nightmare Zone on the Iron because for some reason I'm stagnating with the amount of points that I'm getting, and I can't like profit serious points for some reason. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. But you know,
have you doing Nightmare Zone this whole time?
On what?
On the Iron Man. You said you're doing Nightmare Zone on the Iron Man, or just in general?
In general,
oh,
yeah.
Gotcha.
I've been running into a roadblock where like I can't surpass 180k points because like with the rumbles that I'm starting, I have to spend so much in absorption potions that I only get back up to 180k. You know, so it's like, what's the point? That's kind of where I'm sitting with it.
Nightmare Zone used to be the king. Like before any other of these training methods, like before Zaya and before Fossil Island, you wouldn't bat an eye if somebody said that they got like all of their max combats in Nightmare Zone, because that was the way to do it. Like there was a time in our lifetimes where you could leave your computer on for 6 hours and be in the Nightmare Zone the entire time.
Good old 6-hour tag.
Oh my goodness. I wish I was like a more of a conscious adult when that was a thing, because like all you had to do was have Guthans. Now Guthans was mad expensive because of that, but like you could go to bed every night with Guthans in the Nightmare Zone and get 6 hours worth of XP while you slept. Like you can't do that anymore because you log out after 20 minutes of not interacting with the client. But anyway, Nightmare Zone, I would put it in the B tier. Personally.
Fine with me. Yeah. It's not terrible. I haven't had to train combat in long time.
Yeah, your max combat. I mean, we just went on a 20-minute tirade about training combats at crabs. Because you have had to train combat. Yeah, B tier's fine. I'm down with that. Salted Snail, aka Seth, in the recording booth just said, bro, imagine if Irons could get herb boxes, how glorious it would be. It'd be pretty good. I think it's whack that they can't, because you can get herb boxes from Tithe Farm, but you can't get them from Nightmare Zone. It's very...
Tithe Farm takes effort. I think that's the problem.
I guess. We voted for it. I guess like the Iron community voted for it. So makes sense. We have 3 more, and these 3 are pretty easy. Splashing, I think it's a terrible method, and I would put it in the D tier.
Do not give a shit about people splashing.
Really?
Don't care.
I would never
have. I've never done it because I've never felt the need, but I genuinely don't care. So
it's pretty chill, but like, oh my gosh, like 8K an hour or something. Like you get like minimal, but I guess you can stay logged in for a long time. I don't know. Chinning and bursting. This is, as far as like training methods for these skills, I would put it in the S tier. I think. Unless you have any serious...
If you're doing the monkeys from
Monkey Madness 2.
Yeah. Real good. It's expensive, but like... It's real good.
There is no other method that I think is like the expensiveness of it makes it worth it. I spent a lot of money on runes and chins to get 99 magic and 99 range originally on my main. And those are levels that I don't regret. So we have one more, and then we will send you folks off to break. I put this one on here kind of like a last edition.
Sure, like we were about to start recording, and then he went on the wiki and found the fucking sprite for it.
Yeah,
like, we were this close.
Firewatch. And now most people would think that this is a method that you're going to do for money making, but in terms of combat XP, if you didn't want to roll up on sand crabs or go into Nightmare Zone, killing Firewatch Sentinels is mad AFK. And the reason I say it's mad AFK is because you have the best prayer method gear that you have the best prayer bonus gear that you can get. That also gives you, like with the new Sunfire gear, this is good. So you have your Sunfire Fanatic or whatever it's called. You have your, what is it? What's the weapon that's called? Of Evandis Flail. I think it's Evandis Flail. Whatever flail. And then you just throw up Protect from melee. And as long as you're not wearing the Firewatch, is it Firewatch? As long as you're not wearing the Fire Elite, the clothing. What do they call that? The
Firewatch Noble.
Noble. That was the word I was looking for. The Fire Noble outfit. As long as you're not wearing that, all of the vampires in Darkmere will be aggroed towards you. And so you keep your armor on, and for however long you're there, they're going to be killing you. And there's an altar really, really close. So it's free, and you can make money with blood shards. Blood shards are expensive. I think, how much are they? Like 11.5 mil?
Blood shards are like 11 mil right
now.
They are blood shards to the moon, dude. They're so expensive.
Somebody got one recently. Yeah, they were like 11.5 mil. So they're not very common. Obviously, you'll be there for a while before you see one, but you could get lucky and get it on your first kill. Anyway, Firewatch, I put it in the A tier. It's like, I think you can only train strength, or like it's strength or mixed with the flail. I'd have to check that, but yeah, Firewatch is good. It's kind of like an underrated combat training method, because you think, oh, we're just doing it for the money making, but no, like you get pretty decent combat XP for almost no, like you don't have to pay attention. Now you want to pay attention because you're going to miss your blood shard drop, but yeah. That's going to round out the the list. These always, like, I think when we go into a tier list episode, I'm like, yeah, we'll get this done pretty quickly. But
I knew I'm like, it's gonna be a long goddamn episode.
20.
I knew going into it, we're gonna be a long one.
Anytime we do a tier list, we either like spend 5 hours doing it, or we have to break it up into 2 parts. But that's it, folks. That's our list. I don't think there's any surprises. Oh no, Motherlode Mine being F tier was a massive surprise, but like
F tier,
I can't get Oxie to budge on that one. I'll leave a link to we'll leave a link to this like our version of the low effort skilling. But if you want to make your own and post a screenshot in our Discord, let us know what you think of ours, and also show us your low effort skilling method tier list in the Xpwaste chat on Discord.
Well, folks, that's going to wrap up this tier list here. So we're going to send you off to break. Enjoy this reused commercial, and we will come back. We are at the 3-hour mark on the recording track right now, so we'll see how long this one goes. But till then, see you very soon.
Hey there, adventurer. You're finally awake. Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Agent B, and I work with the Gillinor Protection Agency. If you're watching this video, that means you're probably under the supervision of the medical experts here with the GPA. Don't worry, you're perfectly safe. It says here that you were going to try your hand at Kriara, but you slipped off of Trollheim Mountain and fell unconscious. That's okay. Happens to the best of us, really. Thankfully, a few of our agents found you all bruised up out there in the cold and brought you back here to recover. Now, your report says that you hit your head pretty hard, so you might remember some things, but be aware that not all of these memories are correct. Any thoughts or memories of blood reavers or ancient ceremonial robes simply aren't true. It's just your brain imagining things to help make sense of the accident. You've been with us for a little while now, so getting back to your day-to-day life might be tricky at first. People may have started to spread rumors about you, and some may ask strange questions when you return. Some may make you uncomfortable, and some questions may make your mind think of fake scenarios in order to cope with the stress. Don't you worry though, we've thought of some replies that'll help you reacclimate to society one question at a time. There is no frozen door. There is no fifth general. The God Wars dungeon has not been altered in any way. She does not exist. She does not exist. She does not exist. She does not exist. Operation, and we hope you have a speedy recovery. My name is Agent B, wishing you the best, and always remember, the Gillinor Protection Agency is here to serve you, her.
Welcome back. I hope you enjoyed that commercial break because I know that I sure did. I'm still here in the deep wilderness trying to avoid getting killed while doing this episode. So hopefully no PKers come while I'm doing the Patreon read because that's what it's time for, folks. It's the Patreon time where we shout out the lovely people who support us monetarily every month for sitting in front of our computers, talking about Old School RuneScape and carrying you guys through your long commutes and your long days at work, listening to the game that I would imagine you love and maybe have a problem with because of you're listening to a RuneScape podcast. Get some help. But also don't stay. We love you guys. And you guys support us and we love you for that as well. We actually have a new patron this month. I know June we've been batting zero with new patrons, but we do finally have one this month. Shout out to Nuke Moose subscribing at the Wise Old Man tier this month. Nuke Moose, save me from Inferno, please. I told him the other day in chat, I made some sort of comment that I was like, wait till the nightmares start. And he was like, okay, sure. And then the next day he tagged me. I was like, Oxie, I was taking 80s off prayer, man. This sucks. like he was having the nightmares about it. I said, yeah, I told you. You thought I was kidding. I told you. He's like, yeah, Raccoon made a comment about crying in the shower, and I don't think he was kidding. I'm like, he probably wasn't. Like, Inferno does that to you when you learn. But you know what? You're making progress, man. People are making progress in the Inferno. It's going great. But he is our new patron here this month. So we're going to clear all these filters, right? I got teleported away. I don't know what's going on.
And thank you to the
Save
patrons on the
filters.
screen.
Yeah, patrons have been on the screen. Good save there, Michael, because he knows damn well that I would not have remembered to put that up there. And I would have remembered late, and the episode already would have been exported. But they're up there, and you guys have it. And everyone is doing great. We're all big chilling, as it were. But it is now time to shout out the people in the King Black Dragon tier, the folks who support us at the highest possible monetary value, you lovely human beings, you. So, without further ado, we'd like to offer a huge thank you to Apathy, Boston, Broke70, who has become Michael's sugar daddy on Twitch, Chaos Cleric's nearly everyday tracking needs. Beautiful. My dad. Hi, Dad. Cloud Kicker. Come to TC Oxie, I'll buy you a beer 666. What a man. He said TC, and it took me a second to like register what he meant by that, and I think he means the city in Michigan thing. Corpse Fiance, Damon S, Dickie Bird, Elite Oreo Dunker, our third favorite supporter, Ralph. Oh, a team of PKers who has showed up at a terrible time. It's a shame they can't catch a freeze. Ayo, you guys suck.
They supported on Patreon?
No, but they are trying to kill me here. Set destination 1, teleport. Log out, quick, log out. I got the log. Haha, they suck. Anyways. Run Metal 15 Soggy Waffles, Seppy J, Sparky Life, Swole's Homebrew, and Lobotomy Reversal. There you go. Okay. The Big G Jordy, the Crayola Tallymorn, and Warbatronic. I think we're saying right? Warbatronic. Thank you guys so much for your unwavering support here on Patreon in the King Black Dragon tier. You guys are fantastic. If you'd like to get your name shouted out, or you would like to support us at all without getting your name shouted out, which is also okay. You don't need to do that, you know. If you want to hang out in the recording booth chat, you can join the Wise Old Man tier. If you want to hang out with us when we do our live streams every month for our patrons, you can join the Party Pete tier. You can support us for $1 a month of the Gnome Child tier, or you can just follow us on Patreon without paying any money at all. But if you want to do any of that, head over to patreon.com/XPWaste and you can get that going. By this point, we have either made the donation or are waiting for the receipt from our merch store people to make the donation to the charity. The AZK, I just listened to the other day. AKT, yep. So we'll post the receipt whenever we have that of the donation, just to prove we are not pulling your guys' leg here. So yeah, that is coming soon. Hopefully everyone who ordered merch is enjoying it, whether it was Pride merch or not. That's something we'll hopefully keep doing in years to come. But yeah, that is the Patreon section for you guys. So I'm going to toss over to Michael for a community question answer response, which could be, it's a grab bag with the community question. We don't know how many we have this week.
We have
what are we
looking at? We have a
at?
fair few for posting the episode 2 days ago. So
I thought he was going to say 40. I was going to say, holy shit, I'm going to go make myself a sandwich.
Last week, we asked you guys in kind of response to what we talked about, what is your favorite non-boss money-making method? And we have 13 responses here on Spotify. So starting out, Dinosaur says, Wildy Agility Course. I'm a big fan of anti-PKing. So doing a shitty skill like agility while making about 2 million GP per hour, while getting good XP per hour, while waiting for fights out there is nice.
How much XP per hour?
You just said good. So
okay, fair enough.
Who knows? Mock Cat says agility pyramid ? I'm bad at making money. That's a big reason I play an Iron Man.
Fair enough.
Love it. Luna says swiping my credit card. I can get behind that, Luna. Bonds are expensive. Even though the price of the bonds went up by $1 recently, they've seemed to just like skyrocket an actual GP price. So like I still think you're only paying about 50 cents per mil if you bought bonds.
Yeah.
Which is really good. Because there was a point in time where you're paying like $2 per mil or something crazy when you would buy a bond. Which in terms of like GP per membership day, it was really good, but it wasn't a money-making method. Taco Dog says, making steel bars at the blast furnace has been a lot of fun. Getting a little bit of experience smithing also helps. I wonder what the XP or like the GP per hour on that is. It's got to be good. Any bars at blast furnace are going to make you profit because the amount of coal that you use is halved. And so generally you make a lot of money. Damnation says, flipping. I find it fun to gamble on silly things and pry a few $100K out of high volume items.
Maybe you should flip. Let me check the Discord before I make the joke, actually. Hold up. Oh no, it got deleted. I was gonna say maybe you should flip the Amulet of Avarice. If it's the right person, from the notifications I saw yesterday at the gym, if it's the right person, you get it.
Oh. Scotty says it takes a bit of bossing to acquire, but it builds up over time and it's making divines from crystal shards. Super profitable, assuming you have the shards to spare. I think that's fun because I think that's the first time Scotty has replied to a community question. So that's fun. Kurt says, well, I got a Zenite while listening to this podcast right before you brought it up. So let's go with that. Zenites are bonkers expensive. Bonkers. I don't know if they just like banned a few hundred bots like demonic gorilla bots, but
Between-
holy cow.
It's between banning the bots and also the Rancor that's coming out
Oh,
with
a
Rax.
Raxor.
It's going to require a torture now.
Is it?
So yeah, it requires a torture.
That's an
Yeah.
L, dude. That's so stupid.
How?
It the amount of like the smithing level to make a torture is more than
Crafting level,
the
yeah.
crafting level to make a torture is higher than the crafting level to make the necklace originally was.
Well, that was the proposed issue. That was the thing they brought up. Was like, cool, all that Iron Man work is in vain. Torture is in the bin, you know. So now they said, well, you brought up a good point, and we need to respect the Iron Man community enough, which I'll take to begin with. Kidding, guys. I don't hate Iron Man
But
that
like,
much. I
there's
promise.
4 other things, or there's 3 other things you can make with Zenites. So still do it. Like doing demonic gorillas is still viable. Anyway, that's not the discussion.
So
we can talk about that
but
next
I guess-
time.
I guess so. I just don't understand where the vitriol comes from. It's like,
We can get into
wouldn't
it.
you be annoyed?
No, it's really silly. Moving on. Real Crazy says pickpocketing ham members for easy clues. I get about 15 to 20 clues per hour, and opening all the caskets at once has given me a decent amount of GP for the effort that I put into it. I like that. Yeah, because you can get the random ham joint. That's pretty decent. Fizzman15 says zombie pirates are absolutely cracked. There is no need for initial cash, and they shit out alcohols. They also drop tons of blighted supplies. So after one trip, you're sorted for wildy activities.
It's true.
Fun fact: I was editing the podcast this week, and I randomly went on Twitter to look for. No, it wasn't random. I was on Twitter looking for the link for the charity that we're donating to, and I was on the Old School Twitter or X. I don't know. I was on their page. And they did a hot fix that removed Laren's keys from zombie pirates. So before the episode got exported, I went back in the episode and I removed the reference of us talking about Laren's keys coming from zombie pirates. So we didn't like unintentionally spread misinformation. So if you didn't hear it in the episode, that's why. Buddy Time says favorite moneymaker is Hallowed Sepulcher. Really good XP per hour for mains and very good supplies for budding Ironmen. Lots of alks, runes, and my iron's personal favorite is lots of addy in the rune bolts. Yeah, you can never get enough of the bolts, especially when you're doing PVM. Swole says clearing people's sewage pipes and cleaning hair out of drains to buy bonds, or BA carrying for money that's given in the spirit of friendship.
Just say, I don't think Swole charges for BA carry. But
Maybe he does.
could. Swole, if you ever really wanted to, dog, you probably could.
You really could,
join BA services. You got the passion for it,
bro.
Timing might be rough.
Get her done.
But
Nate Dog says thieving, Winter Todd, and Hunter rumors. /S, obviously meaning sarcasm. As someone who's trying to make money to start looking at buying a mega weapon, it's all bad. But herb runs, then making potions paid for my bow for rebuild. Nice. Nice.
I was gonna say, there's no way.
There's no way
My
he said
boy just
Winter
dropped a
Todd.
Winter Todd as his favorite money making
Oh
method.
no.
We gonna have some words, but thank.
He said sarcasm. And the last one on our Spotify is Mr. Curtains. He says, Battle Stabs. It's daily scape, but basically free money. My man. I think we ruled essentially that was no longer good money, but it technically is free money. So, kind of. You could do Battle Stabs. It's free. Moving on to our YouTube replies. We asked you guys the same question. What is your favorite non-boss moneymaker? CS Seeger says shades in all caps. So they're really passionate about it. What about shades make you money? Like killing shades and then selling the remains? Or is it killing shades, doing the keys, and then selling the loot?
Their remains aren't like terribly cheap.
Isn't
You
that,
know?
you can like store the
Could be the
remains
remains.
in the coffins too, so then you can just like stay there for much longer.
Yeah.
Kind of good.
Could be pretty good.
Wispy Embers says, high alking while training agility. Not the best money, but you make up for it by training 2 skills at once. I thought he was going to say getting a shadow split at TOA, but that's a boss. Deadly RNG says low alking enhanced weapon seeds. Alking gauntlet loot as an iron. Low alking enhanced weapon seeds?
It's not about winning. It's about sending.
It's about sending a message.
You know?
Oh. Next up, Greg says farming herbs. Low key, probably one of the best. Spencer says back in the day in RS2, I made money by selling mined bodies after finishing Elemental Workshop 3. Current money maker I'd go with is clues. I think clues can be good, but you kind of have to you have to get them yourself. That's generally the way that you make money. Because if you're popping imps, you almost certainly will break even with some of the rarer stuff. So interesting. Jordy says, I've always been a mining baby, so mining runite ore or smithing rune two-handers if you have the levels. Alking goes hard as well. I think alking for me is one of those, you have to really have a lot of time on your hands because you can do a certain amount of alks per hour. And then you times that by how much money you make per alk, and it's generally not that good. But maybe if you have stuff in bulk that gives you a lot of GP, maybe. Who knows? And finally, for the community question, RuneGaz says, here is a random one. As a free-to-play locked Ironman, I was fishing in Camdozel and high-alking Baronite handles for 5k GP each. It is probably 50k GP per hour. What a way to end it.
That is
free-to-play
obscure.
50k GP per hour, though. I mean, on an Ironman in free-to-play, I don't know if you get much better than that. That's going to do it for the community question. Thank you so much to everybody who answered last week's. This week, it's going to be kind of in the similar vein. What is your favorite low-intensity skilling method? And bonus points...
Chilling
skills. Bonus points if it's one that we didn't have on our list.
True.
So you can answer that on the community question section on Spotify or the pinned comment of this YouTube video. I'm going to send it over to Oxie now so I can finish eating my hard-boiled eggs.
Sweet. While you pound those eggs, make sure you send me the tier list link thing so I can post it alongside this episode. So you guys can also fill out the tier list if you so desire. It is time for Achievement of the Week, folks. We are going to read this out. We are still in the deep wilderness, dude. We are just getting... I have just hit 607 Chaos Elemental KC, and I'm looking for a dupe pet, and I don't have one. I am 6 kills away from 300 kills on my tracker. I still don't have a duplicate Chaos Elemental pet, and I'm upset about it. But we're going to kick things off with the skilling category here this week. Kicking things off here with skilling. 2157 achieved 99 Slayer. Coiny achieved 99 Crafting. Blastoise level 99 achieved 99 Prayer. Harry X achieved 99 Slayer. Canister Shell achieved 99 Fishing. Mustard Frog achieved 99 Mining as their first 99 untrimmed mining cave. Stop it. Get some help.
Keep it up. You're doing great.
And then Dark Star 65 achieved 99 attack. In the miscellaneous category this week, Roy achieved his quest cape, and Kyga Sales, the man who I don't think can go dry anywhere, obtained his music cape. In the combat category, combat being the biggest category this week, always nice to see that come up because usually it's skilling. But when combat is the largest category, it's a good day. Kicking us off, we do have first fire cape with a Brokey. Got their first fire cape. I was also notified that I didn't shout out Wispy for getting his first fire cape last week, which was crazy because I was there shortly after he got his first fire cape. He just didn't. He posted it in the wrong channel. So but also retroactively. We do have some more firsts this week. Melvin Man killed Zulra for the first time. Small Peen, P-neck, Pennick. I think it's how you say the name. Pennick. My brain just went peanuts, and I don't think it's that. It's Pennick. Main sequence, Mr. Curtains, and motherfucking Group Iron Man Michael with 2 A's. Beep, 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 beep. All killed the Corrupted Gauntlet for the first time this week. We do have some combat achievements as well. Lost Leaf, Apex Wolf, and Toast No Toast all achieved the hard combat diaries for the combat hard CAs. They did them. And then White Light West came out with the Elite Combat Achievement diaries. As far as kits go this week, Sutalu achieved their Missouri kit. Laser, I think is what you call them in Discord. And Doom 83 taken along with the Tuzcal himself, 2 fast kills. Doom got his not Missouri kit, the Fang kit.
Whoa,
the fancy
Chris
Fang
Phalanx.
kit. Yeah, the Phalanx. Yeah, a good shout there. To wrap up this week's achievement of the week, we have two pretty kick-ass achievements. Roz, some know him as the Coward, and Fish both got their quivers this week. After grinding like all day in the Coliseum, they got it. It was kind of crazy to watch. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I've never really watched a quiver all the way through. It's very doable. Like when the time comes for me to get in there, I can't wait, because watching these guys do it, I didn't get a chance to see Roz get his, but I did watch Fish get his. It was the cleanest, like next to no damage looking fight that I've ever seen in an endgame encounter. That shit was absurd. I was like, damn, he's not missing. He told us after the fact that he sat in the simulator for like hours, going for it, which, like, whatever, dude, you got it. That's all that matters. And we'll take it, dude. So we got 2 fancy quivers this week, which is pretty cool. I am getting beat within an inch of my life here at KSL. That sucks.
You know what you can do now, Oxie? Now that you're not maxing, you can go for your quiver.
I mean, I am maxing.
You can still go for your quiver, though.
Maxing.
Like, you're not like 100% focused head down trying to max. You can go for your quiver.
If you did something awesome this week and you want to tell us about it, head over to discord.gg/OSRSTNL. Post about it in our levels and achievements chat. As we've said time and time again, we never care what it is, right? It can be base 40s. It can be your first ever quest completion of Cook's Assistant. It could be a Grandmaster helm and an Infernal Max cape. It doesn't matter what it is. We love seeing the progress that you guys make, and the community reflects that too. We also have objectively the best RuneScape Discord in the world. A couple of our people in the recording booth chat earlier randomly left on like the same tick. And I'm like, that's weird. What happened? Where'd they go? Did they go to like start a raid or something like that? Because that's not uncommon. Like, people listen for a little while and they pop in to go do a different activity. Like, cool, no worries. I looked down and one of the guys, Fish, actually, the guy who just got the quiver, was at Triple Jads. And I DM'd one of the guys who left and I said, yo, is Fish on a beta world? And they're like, nah. So you see people get that kind of progress, you hop in and you deafen and you just watch them do it, right? Or maybe not deafen, but you mute and you watch them do it. Or some people will stop in to like offer help. So if you're really struggling with something and you're like, damn, dude, do I kill Zulrah? Stream it. Stream it, and somebody will pop in and offer help in the TNL Discord, because we have, as I've said, objectively the best RuneScape Discord in the world. It has been a long road. We are at about the 3.5 hour mark, probably a little bit less given the editing time. But even if we're at 3:15, 3:20, we are almost at the end of the road. And I have to say, Michael, my friend, we survived another tier list. And to celebrate, do you have a fun question for it?
I do indeed. This one comes from one of the friends of the show, Otis. And he says, possibly a fun question. If you were given the ability to add any member area, skill, PVM encounter, quest, etc. to free-to-play, what would you choose and why? So basically, take anything that is currently members locked and give it to free to play. What would you choose and why? I think there are several skills that would be quite nice to have in free to play and give them a little taste. I personally, I kind of like what they did in RuneScape 3, where you can train all of the member skills up to a certain point. You get the benefits of whatever you train to. And then at that point, it stops and you have to get membership to go further. But one that they've teased that I really think would be good to give to free to play would be agility. Yes, it would be terrible to train to the absolute max highest level, but like what in free to play isn't terrible to train to 99?
That is
you
true.
basically be stuck with like Draenor, which is a level 1 course all the way to 99.
Well, you get Draenor.
Oh no, you would have Varrock and Falador.
You get Falador.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
I lied.
Falador straight through to 99 sounds like hell. But it's on track for a free-to-play 99.
That's true.
So
yeah, but like imagine you could get to like 50s or 60s pretty effectively in free to play. You wouldn't have access to Graceful, but you would get the effects of having the run energy not drained so much. But definitely give them agility. I mean, stuff like there are, like I said, there's a couple of other member skills like Herblore would be kind of cool to train in free to play because there's a lot of low level stuff that gives you herbs, and having those potions, while you wouldn't have access to all of the potions, there would be a small section of that stuff that would be pretty easy to get. You already kind of have access to some potions in free to play, but it's not tied to Herblore. But that would be kind of cool. And then the last thing I think to kind of get free to play people in the mindset of like, this is a cool game, I think achievement diaries, a certain tier, like you could do all of the easy steps in the achievement diary as free to play, and then give them whatever benefit comes with that in the cities that they have available. So like Lumbridge and Draenor, Varrock, Falador, Alcarid, some of the Alcarid, I guess you have to go into the members area of the desert. But like some of the diaries I think would be really cool to give to free to play, and like they could maybe even have like a novice tier or a basic tier that would be free to play only, kind of how beginner's clues got unlocked in free to play. Like a beginner diary. But give it some like novelty effect.
I think they kind of did that with the adventure helper, whatever it is, you know.
What is that called?
It's the adventure path.
Yeah, it's a path. I did that on an account. I think it was Ethel. Whenever we made like Ethel Stoma, and
I was Ethel Stoma. You
was
were
like I can't remember.
Barry Ballington or something.
Yeah, I can't remember. But I did the adventure path, and it was really cracked. Like you got free armor, free runes, free arrows, just for doing those tasks as a early game account. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. I think I would add, and because every training method in free to play just sucks, it's all so bad.
Sand crabs?
I gotta level with you. I think I would add the Chaos Ult.
Oh, yeah. Why not?
So that way, getting overheads isn't nearly as bad. I don't know if I would add dragons to free to play to make it better, because I think that would absolutely just tank the price of dragon bones in a way that we don't want. You know, it would tank the price.
Yeah, because then it bot city, but
yeah, it would be botted to hell, which wouldn't feel great. I think the Chaos Altar would be a good one, just because like training prayer in free to play is crushing. I feel like just bury bones. And I mean, like, as far as like, because my big concern with free to play, right? Like, my big concern is that any skill you add is going to get so horribly botted that it's going to just do terrible things for the economy. You know,
that's true, because there's zero repercussions for somebody just to
Yeah,
make a
like you may
free-to-play
not be able
bot.
to use the GE, but you can just like spam whatever, you know? So to me, it's tough to add skills. I think an area that could benefit decently well from being in free to play. Sorry, I'm in the wilderness, so I don't have like a ton of details about what is in the area, but like I think a free to play Zaya locked account could be interesting to see. Like, give the content, you know, like imagine Winter Todd is unlocked, right? Fire making is a free to play skill. You can train Winter Todd. Suddenly, the rewards from Winter Todd are just slashed in half. You can't get magic logs. You can't get shark. You can't get any secrets, right?
Yeah.
Like, is it like it's available for you? You know, you go inside the catacombs because you can get into the catacombs, but there's barely any monsters in there.
Right.
There's some hill giants. There's some ghosts and shit like that. But like, we're not gonna put like, you know, black demons or, you know, steel dragons or, you know, dust devils in free to play, right? So I think that could open up, you know, some interesting account builds, you know, and your favorite skilling method of all times, crabs would be pretty viable beyond hill giants, right? For free to play melee training, you know. I think Zaya could have some interesting options for free to play players without completely destroying the economy, especially if you like kept it as free to play.
Yeah.
Like you didn't make all the shit in Zaya suddenly accessible to free to play. Like making chambers free to play. I think it would be funny.
What?
Like, just force
That
them to do chambers in free to play.
Just registered. That's impossible.
And then every single drop is inaccessible to them beyond like pure essence and shit. Like that would be, I would get a laugh out of that. But I think as far as, you know, just like the activities you can do in Zaya, like make the woodcutting guild free to play. Why not? Sure. It's not going to do anything. You can't access redwoods and magics because you need a members account to cut them. You know, it's the same thing. You can't get to the duel arena. You can't get to the mage training arena on a free to play account, can you?
Mage training?
Not mage training arena. Mage arena.
The one in the desert?
What's it called? Yeah, the one in the desert where the magic.
I don't think you can.
Get there?
I don't think you can.
Yeah, I don't actually know if you can or can't.
I think it might be locked behind a gate.
Yeah, it's something like that. You know, it's some stupid like whatever mechanic. Sorry, I'm gonna get disarmed by that chaos elemental here soon because I'm running out of food. I'm greeting this fight. But yeah, I think Zaya could be fun, but I think the Chaos Altar is going to have the most benefit to our poor friends in free to play. Chaos Altar could make some half decent content for them.
One thing I thought of, it would be really cool, is if you pay for a members account, you would be able to access all of the members' areas on free to play worlds, but only if you had a members account. So you can access Zaya on a free to play world. And you can do everything that you can do. You can interact with all the stuff that like is available in free to play. So exactly what you're saying, but just expand it to the rest of the entire continent, but only the stuff that pertains to free to play. Like members items are still members items.
Dude, you'd have some weird ass accounts. That'd be whack.
Free to play world locked, ultimate Iron Man Zaya locked account.
Jesus Christ. It's just, oh God. Oh. Well, I think that about does it for another spectacular fun question. Thank you, Otis, for that fun question. That's always a good one when we get fun question or question in the community. After all this time, I think it is about time we wrap up this episode. I have killed, I don't even want to know, 121 Chaos Elemental in this recording session.
It's decent.
I made some decent money, but I still don't have a duplicate pet. And I'm in shambles, and so is my tile race team. But that's okay. I'm going to go take myself a shower and go enjoy Pride for the evening. Have the busy weekend that I had planned to have. Have a kick-ass 4th of July today when this episode comes out. Make some burgers, make some dogs, go watch some fireworks if that's your thing. Spend some time outdoors.
Not in
fire
Texas.
up the grill, open up the shirt, you know. there's a lot of things about this country that make me want to keel over and die, or at the very least move somewhere else. But, you know, all of the bad things aside, we can remember that the Olympics are coming up. And if the debate made you want to chug bleach, just remember that anything Team USA does in the Olympics will make you want to live and breathe red, white, and blue. Because Team USA, I don't care how bad this country gets. Something about Team USA, these colors don't run, bitch. God, I love it. What the fuck is a kilometer? Like, oh,
Play the Star
that's-
Spangled Banner
whatever.
and chug some beer.
I get hyped for the Olympics.
Hell yeah.
Less hype for everything else the US is doing, but mostly just the Olympics. You know, the rest of the US is a big thumbs down. But the Olympics, oh baby.
I'm only patriotic once every 4 years.
Technically it's once every 2 years, because the Summer Olympics and the Winter Olympics
That's
too.
the Winter
Team USA
Olympics,
in the
true.
Winter Olympics is still good, but Team USA in the World Cup, we could be the shittiest team in the World Cup. Doesn't matter. I'll still root for the US in the World Cup, even if we're not coming anywhere near winning. We beat England in the last World Cup cycle. That was funny as shit, dude. We beat England in the group stage. God, that was so good.
Take it.
That was so good.
Sit.
But yeah, that's about all we've got for you guys. Every link you'll ever need is in the description down below. The link to the charity that we donated to, the link to the tier list that you guys should fill out, send links to any relevant news posts might be in there, because we've kind of stopped doing that, but also kind of not.
I haven't done it in so many months.
I do it if it's a relevant topic. If we're talking about a blog or like this one, unless they drop an absolute heater between Saturday and Thursday, I'm not putting it in there. I'm probably not.
Like,
putting
we
it in there.
removed agility.
We did what Oxie said, and we dropped a warhead on the Winter Todd. You know, like that kind of stuff. We'll put that in there. But otherwise, the links are in the description. Come join the Discord, subscribe on Patreon, do all of the things to boost engagement and get more of your two favorite average white guys talking.
Follow us on
about
Twitch.
Old School RuneScape. Yeah, follow us on Twitch so you can watch Michael to make group Iron Man progress. I'll occasionally be live on my Twitch channel, but not now that my OBS got completely wiped. We'll have to figure out what that looks like. So give it time. But with that, we will see you all next week. Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.